5 opinions. 5 fearless debates.
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me. You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight. On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hello there, very good morning to you on this Wednesday morning. Migrants will be able to exploit human rights loopholes to avoid returning to France.
Well, according to the new terms of the treaty, small boat migrants will be ineligible for deportation if they have outstanding human rights claims or other legal challenges.
The treaty also gives France and other member states a veto over which individuals are returned.
So, has this new deal, hailed by the Prime Minister as groundbreaking, already proved to be unworkable?
Headache for the Chancellor. She's facing a £50 billion black hole in the budget.
Prince Harry has lost his battle for control of his charity Centre Ballet as the charity watchdog criticised him for his part in the damaging bullying row which engulfed the organisation.
Bill and Hillary Clinton have been ordered to testify in an investigation into paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. It follows Donald Trump's refusal to release files on the child sex offender.
Donald Trump's envoy will visit Moscow today as the deadline he's given to Vladimir Putin to end the Ukraine war approaches.
And they are the Scottish-based space company looking for a launch site. We'll be meeting Skyrora, who've just been given the license to send rockets into space.
Today marks 80 years since the Hiroshima bomb was dropped. So we're asking, is it time we banned nuclear weapons?
And in sport this morning, Rangers move closer to Champions League qualification, but still have 3 games to go. Manchester United and Newcastle fight it out for Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko. And in cricket, the 100 gets underway with one of the highlights being a fox on the pitch. Not them downplaying the cricket.
Well, it's a fine day for many today. However, there will be a spell of rain pushing through tomorrow. I'll have the details coming up.
Just after 6 o'clock, a very good morning to you. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Well, here we go, Wednesday already.
Wednesday, hump day. I've got a story for you because I know you're a car man and you like cars. Do you like convertibles?
Yeah.
Right, well, you're in the minority. Apparently, we're not buying them anymore. People don't buy convertibles.
Well, it's a waste of time, though, aren't they? Here.
Well, we haven't got the weather for them.
No.
Yeah,
Love a convertible.
You have got the thieves for them. People worry about, knives being cut into the canvas and all that sort of thing.
Right.
And noise can be a problem, though less so. I had a couple of really good ones. And, they're just, I think they're great cars.
Yeah. Well, apparently 94,000 of them were sold in the UK in 2004, just 12,000 last year. People aren't buying them anymore.
Air conditioning.
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, you could well be right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what do you notice about this? Look, here is Cary Grant and Grace Kelly.
Love Grace Kelly.
Yeah, and that's seen from a beautiful film shot in Monte Carlo there. But what can you tell me about Cary Grant? I bet you none of the two of you know this. I only found this out at the weekend.
Oh.
His name was Archibald Leach.
Yes.
He was
Born
a
in
circus
Bristol.
performer when he started off.
Yeah.
Went over to America.
Yeah.
Had a crazy way of talking as well.
I think he's the most superb example of an actor and, as a man, what you would aspire to be, I think.
Love Cary Grant. Yeah.
Huh?
I loved Cary Grant.
Yeah. But look at the picture again. Let's see the picture again. The thing is that he had more than a number of different wigs for inside and outside and whatever.
Cary Grant.
I never.
Is that a wig?
That's a wig.
No.
That's a wig.
Great wig.
I can tell you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Errol Flynn had a wig. Most actors on TV, on film, male and female, Betty Davis, whatever, all had wigs. And that's what gave them their youthful looks or whatever. And now that I look at Cary Grant, you sort of go...
You can't unsee it. He's got a great head of hair.
Yeah.
You can see the label out the back, is that what it is? But then he had a grey one then, probably later.
Probably. But you see, what they do now is... actors and TV performers, whatever, don't have wigs now. They have hair transplants.
So true.
There's hardly anybody over 50 who's a male on TV who hasn't had it planted.
I think it's a great idea, a hair transplant.
Well, it can give you a lot of confidence, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
what did I say to you before we came on air? I said your teeth and your hair are the most important thing.
And glasses.
And your and a good set of glasses.
You never see anybody in American television, really, who's bald or has glasses.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you can have laser eye surgery now these days as well.
OK.
Options for everything.
What else do you not see TV presenters
Glasses
about?
off, go for a walk, that's it. I'm on my way.
5 minutes past 6, a very good morning to you.
And our top story this morning, illegal migrants crossing the Channel may be able to use a human rights loophole to avoid deportation.
Now, under terms of the agreement with France, asylum seekers won't qualify for deportation if they lodge a human rights claim or say that they are under 18. What do you mean say? I'm under 18. I mean, I suppose then you have to prove that, or it has to be proven against you.
Well, exactly. But this is just one of the potential loopholes which could be exploited and threatens to undermine the government's attempt to smash the gangs.
OK, let's find out what Deputy Editor of Spiked Online, Fraser Myers, has to say about this. It was only a matter of time before... I mean, we look at this, it seems pretty unworkable anyway, one for one and all this business. But when the lawyers get their teeth into this, Fraser, this will really just slow up this whole progress even more.
Well, absolutely. And under the terms of this deal, the UK has to essentially find people within about 28 days of them arriving. So anyone lodging a claim, anyone able to delay that process, even by a couple of weeks, will essentially have the right to stay in the UK, which means that, you know, you can lodge a spurious claim, which means that even if you claim to be 18. You might not be 18, but the process for age verification can take weeks and months.
The government must have known this was there, and you know this could be putting an end to what they're trying to achieve here. Surely they've just got to hold their hands up and say, "This is nonsense. This is not going to work."
Well, I think they're going to, dig in. They think this is their big idea. What they would say, perhaps, is that it's
they're being
pilot
laughed at with this, Fraser. The point is, I mean, they think it's a big idea, but have you met anybody in real life who said, super idea?
Well, no, but that's just the massive disconnect on this issue between the political class and the public. I mean, if you take human rights claims as an example, what we might think of as a spurious claim would probably allow you to stay indefinitely in the UK. So in recent weeks, we've had people being blocked from leaving the UK or having their deportations cancelled because they are cross-dressers. There's been a case of the most infamous case, probably the Albanian criminal whose son didn't like foreign chicken nuggets. Those seem crazy to ordinary people. Those do not seem like grounds for someone to have a human rights claim to stay in the UK. But the judges in this world, the lawyers in this world, and I hate to say it, the Labour government operate on a different planet, I think.
Here, just before we move on, that cross-dressing business, I see J.K. Rowling is organising a campaign against Marks and Spencer because they have transgender changing rooms. Are you aware of that? No, were you aware of it? Why would he be aware of it?
I wasn't aware of that. No. No, I hadn't seen that story.
You could be getting in there with Fraser. he could be in that trying on a bra.
No, I hadn't seen that. Was that in the papers today?
Yes, a young girl. She was approached by a trans member of staff, i.e. a male, and offered help for fitting a bra, and they were surprised to see that this was a male in the women's lingerie.
You can ask him anything, and he...
So, look, we'll asking you what you think of that, not him, but you at home, listening and watching at home, and we're going to get reaction to that as the programme progresses. This morning, is it of any consequence? Does it make a difference to your life or not? Let us know. I'm still just trying to find where I saw the story this morning. But there it is there. J.K. Rowling, War on M&S. The author calls for a boycott over trans bra fitting row.
There you go. In terms of the one-in, one-out policy, what do you make then? Is it a better deal than what we have right now, at least, in the sense that from a security perspective, we have more control over who is coming into this country? They would have to have, we're being told, a family connection to this country, and they would have to have a full security check.
Yes, that is, I suppose, one positive. But the other side of that is that under the terms of this deal, I mean, it's a classic Starmer negotiation where the terms are not very good, as you might expect. France essentially can veto anyone that we might want to send back. And also, it says quite clearly, under no circumstances should any personal data about the people being sent here be shared with the United Kingdom government under data protection.
Really?
Laws. So
and the whole thinking behind that is what?
Well, potentially they could send people that they don't want to be in France,
right?
And then we will find out later on to our cost. So, I mean, this is a pilot scheme. It can run on. It's only due to run on for 11 months. I think we know already that it's not going to work. So I suspect in a year's time this will have been forgotten about and we'll be talking about something else.
Or at least Britain could renegotiate, because at the moment, at least on the surface, it looks as though France and the EU have got a much better deal than we have.
It does look like that, but I mean, in classic Starmer fashion, giving things away to the EU, giving as much ground as possible to any sort of EU ally, just seems to be the modus operandi. They don't really see it as important to get a good deal for Britain.
OK, Fraser, thank you very much indeed. See you in the next hour.
Fraser will be coming back, so anything you have to say, agreeing or disagreeing with his views, please do get in touch and let us know.
Now, at 6:10, Prince Harry is facing criticism from the charity watchdog this morning after a bitter dispute at a charity he co-founded was allowed to spill into the public eye.
The Charity Commission has issued a formal action plan for, what's it called?
Sentebale.
Of course, it's Sentebale. What does Sentebale even mean?
I don't know what it means, but it's for children living with AIDS.
Yeah, but you know, it's that name that trips off the tongue. Sentebale, Sentebale. Yeah. What does it mean? Tell me what it does on the tin. The Dukes, my producer tells me it means forget me not.
Oh.
You see, well, why make it difficult? Why just call it Forget Me Not? The Duke's charity supporting children and young people in southern Africa. It flagged leadership confusion and poor governance, but found no evidence of bullying or misconduct by Prince Harry, despite claims from the charity's current chair.
Well, a spokesperson for Prince Harry says the findings clear him, but claims the real damage will be felt by the children that the charity supports.
Yeah, what happens to the charity now? That's the question. Former Royal Gardener Jack Stooks with his take on this. And, you know, why historically, Jack, this charity it was important to Harry, and it's such a pity that he's not going to be connected to it anymore.
Yeah, no, it is definitely. Good morning to you both. I think firstly, the charity is Sentebale. Yes, it's Forget Me Not, but it's the name that they'll call a Forget Me Not plant in Africa, and I think that's why the name was chosen. So not English, but to do with Lesotho. The charity was set up specifically for children in mind living with AIDS, you know, trying to help children with AIDS. And it was very close to Harry's heart because of what his mother did with AIDS and just how far we've come with that. It's a very sad story what's happened. I think it sort of started when Harry was trying to raise funds in America to get money to the charity, and I believe he could have probably made quite a lot of money for the charity that way. Dr. Chanduka, I think, had different ideas. Like we all do, we all have different ideas. And obviously, a situation arose within that. The findings are saying that that the people's feelings should be allowed to be heard. So she obviously felt she was being mistreated, and they're saying that's fine for her to feel that. But nothing's been found from Harry's part, which actually makes quite a nice change. You know, we're hearing something positive that Harry hasn't actually done anything bad this time, which is quite nice for us all to see, because the Harry I knew and loved is this person. He's very much, you know, heart and soul. When he puts something into it, he just wants the best for that. And he wanted the best for all of those children. And I mean, every time we've seen him in documentaries, any video footage we've seen, he just absolutely adores those children and wants the best for them.
What's going to happen to them, Jack, those children and the charity in general? Will it be wound up now?
They do say that the charity is going to continue without Prince Sisu or Prince Harry. Harry's obviously now putting his focus on other areas. I mean, we've seen him recently with the Halo Trust, and, you know, that's another great sort of hark back to seeing Princess Diana. I remember all those famous photos that we all, you know, were so sort of taken aback when we watched her walking through the landmines. He's going to focus, I think, on other things. Of course, he's going to be devastated, but sometimes you do have to walk away when there seems to be a problem. And I think Harry does realize that there's a problem within the charity, and he's probably better out of it.
It does sound as though he was hoping that there might be a way back for him. He was saying that he hoped that he'd see Sentebale back in the right hands. But the statement that we've seen from him now is, no, I'm going to look at new ways to support children. So do you think he will start a new charity for children in Lesotho and Botswana?
I'm hoping that he does. I mean, he absolutely loves Botswana, and I think he's obviously taken Meghan to Botswana. I think one of the diamonds from the engagement ring came from Botswana. So let's hope that, you know, he might set up a charity there. It'll be a different name, but I do think that he will do something, because his heart and soul is there with his mum in mind. And the charity, Sentebale, may carry on, may do okay, but I can't see it doing as well.
Well, Jack, this is what they're saying in a statement from the former trustees. They say, we are disheartened by the way in which the Charity Commission has chosen to ignore key concerns and irrefutable evidence raised with them regarding the leadership and oversight of Sentebale's chair. We remain gravely concerned for the future of the charity and the well-being of the communities we serve for 19 years, following the mission set out by Prince Harry and Prince Sisu in honour of their mothers.
And this is the thing, isn't it, Jack? I mean, no matter what happens, the damage has been done to this charity.
It is irreparable damage. I mean, I think that what it appears is that Dr. Chanduk has sort of come out and she's sort of laid claims and said that there was mistreatment, misogyny, there was all these things going on. And the charities now said, well, no, that's not going on. But yes, we acknowledge your feelings. We acknowledge you felt a little bit like this, sort of post-COVID. I think that there were sort of rumblings and everyone, I think everyone in different charities felt the same. You know, post-COVID, there was no money, people were struggling, people were worried what was going to happen. But I think that her role was actually a non-paid role. So it seems quite odd that somebody who's going through all those mistreatments in an unpaid role is clinging in and saying all of these things about the charity and wants to sort of point fingers at everybody. If I was in a situation where I wasn't being paid to do a job and I felt those things, I would have left quite a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, we hope it turns out okay for the children who were affected and involved by all of that. And the job you were paid to do was to look after the gardens for the Royals. And
Yes.
my friend, I just wanted to know your opinion. These weather fronts that we had, so Storm Florence comes in, wrecks the whole place. Today, I was noticing how nice the sky was on the way in. Looked really, really good today. How would you sum up the whole gardening situation, or just give people an overview that they don't really know what to do in their garden at the moment?
Well, it has been so dry, and you know, now we have had a bit of rain. I mean, even my grass, just from a little bit of rain, is looking a lot greener. But you know, where we can conserve water, you know, use water from your basin if you can. I mean, use water from wherever you can. Get water butts. It's a case of just trying to keep everything alive at the moment. Once we've had the rain, it's a lot easier to dig your ground, put some mulch down, you know, cover the soil so that you're keeping the moisture in. But we're getting to the point where we're starting to want to put the garden to bed. And, you know, you want to do that before it's too late, before the winter sets in. So you've got at least a clean looking garden over the winter.
Well, thanks for the take on things. Thank you very much, Jack. We'll leave it there. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack. Good to see you.
And let's now get the weather update now from Alex Burkill. And as I say, the sky looking good this morning, but is it looking good everywhere? Jack?
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. This is your latest Met Office weather update for GB News. For many, today is going to be a fine day, the exception just being across the far north of Scotland. Here there will be a front bringing a bit of cloud, a bit of drizzly rain at times as well, though a lot of that is going to clear through as we go towards lunchtime. Elsewhere, like I said, a fine picture for most, lots of fine sunny weather around, albeit a bit of cloud bubbling up at times, and some high-level cloud may make the sunshine a bit hazy, a bit milky as we go through into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little bit higher than yesterday and feeling a bit warmer too, with more sunshine and lighter winds, highs of around 24-25 Celsius towards the south and just a few degrees lower than this further north. As we go through into this evening and actually across the south, apart from some thicker cloud perhaps across parts of the southwest, for many it's staying fine. There'll be some late glimmers of sunshine as well for most here. A slightly different story as we head towards the northwest. Winds picking up and a bit more cloud starting to push in across parts of Northern Ireland, and a few outbreaks of rain for the west of Scotland too. And it is going to be turning a little bit cloudier because of a frontal system that's starting to make its way in. This is gradually going to push its way east and southeastwards as we go overnight, so things turning pretty wet across Northern Ireland, much of Scotland, and some rain just about fringing into parts of northwest England and across western Wales as we go through the early hours of tomorrow as well. Towards the southeast, staying dry with some clearer skies, temperatures here holding up in the mid-teens generally, and similar across northwestern parts, but obviously here is going to be a cloudy, wet start to the day tomorrow. That front continues its progress south and eastwards. It could be a bit heavy at times, particularly across higher ground of Wales and northwest England, and across the southeast really it's going to take until quite late on for the rain to arrive, and by the time it does, that front will have broken up so much it will just be a few spots of rain and a bit of cloud. Behind the front, something a little bit brighter, and for many, temperatures peaking in the high teens or low to mid-20s.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now do stay with us. Still to come, Bill and Hillary Clinton have been ordered to testify in an investigation into paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. We'll have all the details for you next.
This is our country, and we think it's amazing. From high tea to the high street, we love it all. Even the rain, we like that too. There's nowhere else we'd rather be. That's why we're here to be the fearless champion of Britain, its voices and its values. Because we are GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is...
You're
the failure
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Before we get into the sport, and Paul, your chance to live mortgage or rent-free. You get that for a year and you get a bonus off.
£5,000 in your bank, tax-free, the latest Great British giveaway. But guess what? Even if you haven't got a mortgage or any rent to pay, lucky those people, whoever that is, they can still enter and they can still win 15 grand. Very nice. Here are all of the details that you need.
This is your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year in the latest Great British giveaway. That's right, we'll give you a cash lump sum that will cover 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an incredible £20,000. Plus, we'll add £5,000 on top of that for you to treat yourself. And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you, we'll give you £15,000 in cash instead. You have to hurry though, as lines will close on the 29th of August. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9 Bubble Tea. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
If things couldn't get any better, time now to go through the sport with Paul this morning. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. How are you? Okay?
Okay, I'm good.
Rangers did well last night. Yes, they did. I know Steph's having to make a joke.
Why does that make me okay?
Well, I don't know. I just thought I'd just tell you, Rangers 3, Victoria Plzeň from the Czech Republic 0. Now, this is a qualifier for the Champions League, and I know how you like all the technicalities when I go through the ways of qualifying. So I'm going to do that for you now. So the first leg, so it's the third qualifier. Then, if they get through that, then they've got another game that they have to play. Talk about jumping through hoops to get into the Champions League. So then, if they get through that, then they will go into the whole big group of 36 because, you know, it changed last year. Russell Martin was match happier. Oh, also, what Scotland are doing, and I like this, is because they've done it for Hibernian and they've also done it for Aberdeen as well. The fact that they're playing in Europe, if they go into the final qualification part, they are allowed to then postpone their Scottish Premier League game. Which may be a good idea.
Makes sense.
It does make sense because it's very important for them and it's important for the league as well. So if they get that far, they've got the choice of saying, which already Hibs have done and Rangers will be against St Mirren, they're saying, look, we're not going to play that game. We'll postpone that because we've got to concentrate on these two legs.
But that's Scotland only.
Scotland only. Scotland only. At the moment, Transfer news. Looking good for Manchester United.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. Don't know who he is.
Have you not?
But,
Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah.
He's Slovenian. I know Ellie is a big fan of Slovenian football. And he
really across
plays, I know you are, and plays RB Leipzig at the moment. Striker, very good, but Manchester United and Newcastle.
He looks really tall.
He is 7'3". He's one of the tallest players I've ever seen.
Newcastle in for him as well.
Well, yeah, this is the way it's gone. So Newcastle, they do it in euros now. So, you know, I'll give you a little... So it's 75 million euros, which is about 65 million quid, which Newcastle then bid for him. That was rejected. Then they came in at 80 million euros, plus the 10 million add-ons, you know, where you get goals and its appearances and all that sort of stuff. So whereas they've offered 80 million euros, Manchester United have offered...
81.
75.
Oh.
But it's like, well, we'll give you 75 million, but you'll be playing for Manchester United. So does that work, though? Will that work for him? They seem to think that he would want to do that.
Well, I think Newcastle are well on the up.
I think so too.
Newcastle will have a better season than Man U, I would have thought, next year as well.
There are signings at Manchester United. Ruben Amorim's talking a good game, so maybe... it will be better this year. Maybe it will.
Well, here's hoping. But
now, the cricket got underway yesterday as well, the 100. So the 100, it's more your show-busy, razzmatazz, 100 balls are delivered. It's all, you get a women's game and you get the men's game. It's all done and dusted in 3 hours. So
20 hours.
In what?
Yeah, 20 hours, you said.
Three. Just 3 hours.
3 hours, so brilliant.
Yeah.
We could
20 hours.
I was about to say, I quite like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's a long...
It might feel like 20 hours, but... Yeah, we could...
Well, I'm just trying to sell cricket.
We just go for the hospitality.
Well, it'll be all that, and there's a lot of... And also, there was a fox ran on the pitch as well. How about that? Look at this little fella.
I feel sorry for the wee fox.
Yeah. Running around, I don't think anybody... Whereas you would get in the old days...
He's a brave little man, isn't he?
Well, I don't know where he
came from.
And, you know, where he lives at Lord's or something.
The batsman has just hit the fox there,
that was the fox. The fox went for 6. What are the chances? Yeah. But anyway, London Spirit versus Oval Invincibles, and London Spirit won. So also the other reason that a lot of cricketers want to play in the 100 is because of the money. So how much do you reckon an England cricketer would get paid for playing in a test match? So 500
quid.
15 grand.
Oh, I was way out. I was going to say 100 grand.
Well, if you play, if you're, you know, because obviously it varies, supply and demand and how big the players are, 25 grand a game to play in the 100. A lot of money to play.
I play in the 100.
Fox got 300 quid, by the way, for that.
Yeah, just for turning up.
Yeah, exactly. I got one more thing for you as well.
Which is?
6 months today until the Winter Olympics.
Right.
In Cortina. Can we see how things are going there? Cortina, D'Ampezzo and Milan will co-host at about 250 miles between the two.
So is Cortina a city, a town or a country?
Cortina is a town. It's a ski resort. Yeah, you saw the Pink Panther with David Niven and Peter Sellers?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
64. That was in Cortina.
Was it?
Yeah. When you see,
I think it's so erotic, so good to know that's where the car name came from.
Yeah, and do you think that Cortina seems a bit more attractive to the town and the ski resort than the car, don't you think?
I just think it's nice. I think it's nice, like Capri, you know.
So were they all named after Italian places?
Well, they were, in particular.
So you got your Capri, you got your Cortina.
You've run out of ideas.
Ford Transit, which is just outside Rome. And the Ford Escort, the Escort was by Naples, wasn't it? Escortina.
It's very pretty, Cortina.
OK.
Thanks, Coity.
If you could add to that car names and places, please do let us know.
That's very neat.
And on the subject of cars and places, if you're travelling today, here's what's happening.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the A9 Dornoch Bridge, drivers are advised to exercise caution due to high winds affecting driving conditions. Resurfacing work on the M4 eastbound at junction 48, Hendy, has led to the closure of the exit slip road, with diversions in place. There's congestion on the A13 westbound between the A1012 and the junction with the A1306 at Aveley, causing delays of around 40 minutes. Normal traffic conditions are expected to resume shortly. And on the trains, Great Northern has no services operating between Finsbury Park and Moorgate, while Island Line is running a reduced service. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Beth.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here.
I'm Michelle Duke, Britain's News Channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very easy tonight on the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Former American President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary have been subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee in connection with the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation.
Yes, the committee is seeking information about the deceased financier's history after President Donald Trump decided against releasing more federal files, that despite widespread backlash and pressure from within his own party.
By satellite now, let's join US political analyst Eric Ham. Eric, the thing is, of course, a lot of people are disputing whether there is actually a list or not.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, we see that both sides of Washington are now trying to, or at least attempting to do something about it. That still has not stopped the president's base from wanting more answers about this. And of course, the biggest thing is there is those who believe that there is this Democratic elite cabal that has been behind Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking. And of course, that's why we see so many former high-level government officials, including the former president himself, being subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee.
So what's the aim of this then overall? What are they trying to do with this? Is this to, get more evidence against Epstein, or is this to, throw some mud at Bill Clinton?
Well, when we see these House committees, and of course, we know how partisan and, of course, political they have become recently, it's unclear if, in fact, this is an effort to try to get more information about Epstein. Of course, we know both he was in jail, and of course, his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, has already been convicted. So in terms of actually trying to determine or find more information, not just about victims, but of course, perpetrators, perhaps that's what we're seeing. But again, this is a case where you would expect those prosecutors who have worked the Epstein case would have far more information about the breadth and depth of Epstein's antics, more so than perhaps some of the people that we're seeing being called, which suggests that this is purely political and more political theater on top of that.
There is going to be huge interest, though, in any information that is established from the Clintons, because there have been questions for a long, long time about their relationship and their friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, but also with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, we know that former President Bill Clinton actually rode on Epstein's jet. He says that he did so in relation to work that he was doing when, of course, he was leading the Clinton Foundation. And, of course, I suspect much of that information is probably in these transcripts, which have yet to be released. And so perhaps we will, if we do hear from the president, he will certainly speak to that. But again, I think this is going to be difficult to get former President Clinton on the record to talk about this, because we have to now remember the Supreme Court has basically said that any president, in terms of what they do as president, he wasn't president at the time, but again, I wonder how much immunity he will have, even though he was an ex-president at the time when he was on Epstein's jet.
And can I just ask you about Ghislaine Maxwell as well, because she's been moved, hasn't she, from a prison in Florida to a low minimum security facility in Texas, hasn't she? What's that about? Because there are rumours swirling that potentially she could be pardoned.
Yeah, this could be the beginning of the process where, of course, she is providing and offering additional information. And so this could be a quid pro quo by the Justice Department to put her in this minimum security prison in exchange for what she's already provided. Also, it could be an effort by the Justice Department to also keep her safe now, given that in the maximum security prison where she was, everyone now knows that she is, in fact, cooperating to some degree and speaking directly to the Justice Department. So it could perhaps be one of those two reasons why she was moved. It's unclear, at least at this point, why.
Just a quick one, but a very, very important one. Being associated with Jeffrey Epstein has ended the public life of Prince Andrew. How seriously is this viewed in the United States, or is it not? What traction does this have for ending public profile of, say, Bill Clinton?
Well, I think Bill Clinton has already begun to move into the sunset. He's an elder statesman now, and I'm not sure, given what we know about his tawdry history, how much this will shape that, especially given that if it's true, as he says, that while on this jet, there were Secret Service and other staff, and so it's unlikely we may even hear even more about this. But I suspect it won't be that much because, again, I don't think we're going to get much.
Well, when we do hear more about it, Eric, we'll turn to you, my friend. Thank you very much indeed for your analysis this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now at 6:41, it's time for our daily reflection with the Church of England vicar, Mark Wilson.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hi, I'm Mark Wilson, a Church of England vicar in West Bromwich. Do you know what? I'm rubbish when I'm hungry. I get what's called hangry. My family and my colleagues, they know this, and so what they do is they very quickly get food right in front of me. I mean, to be hungry is horrendous, right? But then, to be hungry for something can be a good thing. We use the expression, they were so hungry for knowledge. They were hungry for acceptance, or hungry to do something right. In the Bible, there's a bit called the Beatitudes. It's one of Jesus' sermons and blessings. In Matthew 5, Jesus said, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." To be righteous means to look to do what is right, what is good. For Jesus, this means to go God's way. You know, when I'm hungry for food, man, I can be a real grump. But I hope I can be hunger for righteousness, hungry for good.
Well, if that's made you hungry to find out what's in the papers, we're going to fill your boots with that right after this short break. Don't go away.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
There's some hot air across parts of northern Africa at the moment, and as that's feeding its way northwards, it's going to push into Spain and Portugal. And here we're going to see temperatures rising through the next few days, could get into the low 40s at times. Otherwise, there will be a spell of showery rain affecting Gibraltar perhaps on Thursday, and a few showers across Italy and also into Greece and Turkey, but slightly fewer than I'm expecting through today. And the outlook for many is looking sunny and fairly hot.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
only on GB News.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welsh women say they were stunned when an Airbnb host rejected their booking with the only explanation given, because you're from Wales. The pair had planned a night out in Manchester to attend a concert, but now accuse the host of outright xenophobia. One of them joins us now live to share exactly what happened and why she believes it's a case of discrimination. Joining me now is Gemma Louise Goff. Gemma, thank you so much for joining me. I can't believe your story. It sounds astonishing. So basically, you and your friend, you're in your 30s, you're not exactly, teenagers, you're not a group of young men, booked an Airbnb to go and see a gig. Tell me what happened then.
Well, we found the Airbnb. It looked really clean. It was in the centre. It was exactly what we wanted, just a bed for the night. And we messaged, we paid up front, and she then messaged within the hour, sorry, we had the email saying that it was declined and refunded. So we'd messaged and said, you know, like the message says, really politely, "Hi, why has it been declined?" with a kiss on the end. Yeah. And she literally only wrote that one word. And Wales was in capital letters, so it was more like against Wales. It was utter shock.
What did you think when you read? I mean, did you think it was a joke? Maybe she was sort of like, you know, had messaged you when she was drunk and it was just a joke? Or I can't believe anyone would actually say that.
I've never faced discrimination on any level before, so the experience was quite surprising and unsettling at the same time. But I was in utter shock. It made me feel instantly like an outsider and not welcome for the simple fact I'm from Wales.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Okoye, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Front pages on this Wednesday morning, they look interesting. Daily Mail reports that the Chancellor is facing a £50 billion black hole as a think tank predicts she is on course to miss her borrowing targets.
The Times leads with the migrant deportation loopholes, as those crossing the Channel may be able to avoid deportation.
Daily Express, Tory leader Kemi Badenoch is accusing the government of carrying out an assault on rural life.
The Daily Mirror reports that Prince Andrew took paedophile Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell into Ascot's royal box when the late Queen was there.
The Sun leads with Gary Lineker set to return to Saturday night, not presenting football, but a game show for ITV after his BBC exit. Joining us now in the studio to go through those stories, Anna Firth and Penny Smith. Very good to see you both. Penny, would it make a difference to you on a Saturday night if Gary Lineker was on the box? Do you think you would switch? It's not football. It's not football.
You see, you know how much I like football. Although, funny enough, I have been enjoying the Lionesses, to be fair.
Yeah, they've been great, haven't they?
But I do think Gary Lineker is a really good presenter. I mean, there is a reason why he's been such a stalwart of Saturday night, and not just Saturday night, but ever since he went on television. He's just a really engaging character.
He's a good presenter.
He's a good presenter, and so why wouldn't you want him there? I mean, you know, what do you want to say something you don't like him?
No, he's all right, but I always fall out with Eamonn on this because if I want to if the football comes on, I want to watch football. I don't want to hear these previous brilliant football stars mansplaining about the football.
Right. So would you?
Are you telling me you can't? You wouldn't tune in to Roy Keane saying, "It's his job, for goodness' sake, it's his job."
Now, some of the older presenters, yes, they had real authority, real oomph.
But surely you don't get older than Gary.
Oh, I think you probably do, Eamonn.
No, there's nobody older than Gary.
No,
it's all relative, Eamonn. It's all relative. But Gary's nice enough. He's nice enough. There's nothing really special.
Oh, okay. I think it does take something to actually be able to.
But it would affect you then, the fact that he makes political pronouncements.
I really don't think he should do that. He's in such an influential position, or he was when he was working for the BBC, and I do think he went too far in getting political.
Yeah.
Right, Penny, let's have a look, shall we? At the front page of the Times this morning, it's actually our top story as well.
It is,
Migrants can use rights laws to evade deportation. This is the new one-in, one-out deal with France, isn't it?
So you've already talked quite comprehensively about this, so I thought I'd sort of do a little bit more of a deep dive. So one of the ways of getting around things as well is about being under 18. And we have had stories in the past where they've found actually that people have said they were under 18, gone into school...
And they're 56.
And they're 840, exactly. Exactly. And they're really old. They've got a great big beard, So, and I just went and did a little AI search, you know, on the googly thing, extra thing, and I was saying, how difficult is it to find a way of proving that somebody's under 18? And it's still, despite all the things that we have at our disposal these days, I mean, you can do a bone density test, and that's pretty good at kind of bringing you, but you're still talking about a couple of years either way, so you can't really prove that they're under 18. You can kind of pretty much say, yeah, they're around about 18 to 20, we think, but they could be 16, you know, sort of thing. So it is actually quite difficult. Also, inside the paper, this goes on, the actual story goes on inside the paper, and it talks about police pressed to release suspects' asylum status, which I do think there will be lots of people who are thinking, actually, we should sort this out as well, because do you remember in the case in Liverpool, the car being driven into the crowd during the Liverpool FC Victory Parade? And they were very quick to say it's a white man because of the fact that conspiracy theorists were getting in there immediately and saying it's yet another case of a fundamentalist, and they were very quick to say that. It is very difficult, isn't it, though, when we don't have identity cards, and I do think that people are coming a bit more to the idea of having.
Do you think we're any closer
cards.
to that, Anna? Identity cards?
They're controversial, aren't they?
I'm sure we probably will be looking at it again. I actually have real reservations about it, because why should the whole population suddenly have to have a new form of identity because we are fundamentally unable to control our borders?
You see, I don't understand why anybody's got a problem with this. I grew up in Northern Ireland, and that you were stopped constantly by police and army. What's your name? Where do you live? Always you got out of it if you had a driving licence or something. But why?
We just have driving licence, Eamonn, don't we? We have driving licence, we have a passport. So most people do have a form of identity. Most people have a form of identity now.
They never have it on them. The police, have you got a driving licence, sir? No, I don't. Then you're back to square one.
And you now have to show identity to vote anyway. So why should we have to have another form of identity just because we are not doing the obvious thing?
We put it the other way around.
Because the people who are coming over in the boats will be the people who are clearly, some of them we know unfortunately are criminals. They've obviously got a very I don't know, you could say that they're very brave. They've got a certain mindset. They are just the sort of person who are easily going to be able to fake an ID.
Yeah.
So it's not going to solve the problem. What is going to solve the problem is if we stop, if as soon as these boats arrive, we have deportation camps and we deport people. And this silly deal from Starmer, which we've discussed many times, is a complete and utter gimmick.
OK,
and a disaster.
well, that'll have got everybody thinking. Anna Penny, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. The guys will be back in 40 minutes' time.
Yes, let us know what you make of those stories this morning. gbnews.com/your say. Let's get a check on the weather now, shall we, with Alex Burkle.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. This is your latest Met Office weather update for GB News. For many, today is going to be a fine day, the exception just being across the far north of Scotland. Here there will be a front bringing a bit of cloud, a bit of drizzly rain at times as well, though a lot of that is going to clear through as we go towards lunchtime. Elsewhere, like I said, a fine picture for most, lots of fine sunny weather around, albeit a bit of cloud bubbling up at times, and some high-level cloud may make the sunshine a bit hazy, a bit milky as we go through into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little bit higher than yesterday and feeling a bit warmer too, with more sunshine and lighter winds, highs of around 24-25 Celsius towards the south and just a few degrees lower than this further north. As we go through into this evening and actually across the south, apart from some thicker cloud perhaps across parts of the southwest, for many it's staying fine. There'll be some late glimmers of sunshine as well for most here. A slightly different story as we head towards the northwest. Winds picking up and a bit more cloud starting to push in across parts of Northern Ireland, and a few outbreaks of rain for the west of Scotland too, and it is is going to be turning a little bit cloudier because of a frontal system that's starting to make its way in. This is gradually going to push its way east and southeastwards as we go overnight, so things turning pretty wet across Northern Ireland, much of Scotland, and some rain just about fringing into parts of northwest England and across western Wales as we go through the early hours of tomorrow as well. Towards the southeast, staying dry with some clearer skies, temperatures here holding up in the mid-teens generally, and similar across northwestern parts, but obviously here is going to be a cloudy, wet start to the day tomorrow. That front continues its progress south and eastwards. It could be a bit heavy at times, particularly across higher ground of Wales and northwest England, and across the southeast really it's going to take until quite late on for the rain to arrive, and by the time it does, that front will have broken up so much it will just be a few spots of rain and a bit of cloud. Behind the front, something a little bit brighter, and for many, temperatures peaking in the high teens or low to mid-20s.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Motorists should exercise caution on the A9 Dornoch Bridge due to high winds affecting driving conditions. On the M4 eastbound at junction 48 in Hendy, resurfacing work has closed the exit slip road, with diversions currently in place. In Thurrock, the A13 westbound faces congestion between the A1012 and junction with the A1306 Avley, resulting in an additional 15-minute delay. Normal traffic conditions are anticipated by 7 this morning, and on the trains no services are running on the Great Northern Line between Finsbury Park and Moorgate, and the Island Line is operating a reduced service. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
This is your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year. We'll give you a cash lump sum that will cover 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an incredible £20,000. Plus, we'll add £5,000 on top of that for you to treat yourself. You have to hurry though, as lines will close on the 29th of August. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Good morning. Migrants will be able to exploit human rights loopholes to avoid returning to France.
According to the new terms of the treaty, small boat migrants will be ineligible for deportation if they have outstanding human rights claims.
Well, the treaty also gives France and other EU member states a veto over which individuals are returned.
So has this new deal, hailed by the Prime Minister's groundbreaking, already proved to be rubbish?
Headache for the Chancellor. Rachel Reeves is facing a £50 billion black hole in the budget as pressure mounts now to balance the books.
Prince Harry has lost his battle for control of his charity as the charity watchdog criticised him for his part in the damaging bullying row.
Bill and Hillary Clinton have been ordered to testify in an investigation into the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. It follows Donald Trump's refusal to release files on the child sex offender.
Donald Trump's envoy will visit Moscow today as the deadline he's given to Vladimir Putin to end the Ukraine war approaches.
They're the Scottish-based space company looking for a launch site. We're going to be meeting Skyrora, who've just been given the licence to send rockets into space.
Today marks 80 years since the Hiroshima bomb. So we're asking, is it time we banned nuclear weapons?
And in sport this morning, Rangers moved closer to the Champions League qualification, but still have 3 games to go. Manchester United and Newcastle fight it out for a very tall striker, which Ellie could absolutely correctly identified. 6'5".
Yeah.
And that's just in socks. Benjamin Sesko. And in the cricket, the 100 got underway with one of the highlights being a fox on the pitch. A showbiz.
Well, it's a fine day for many today. However, there will be a spell of rain pushing through tomorrow. I'll have the details coming up.
Hello there, very good morning to you on this Wednesday morning. Just after 7 o'clock, I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. Two news and food stories for you, which I know
I'm not sure they'll make you lick your lips, but they may well do. First up is...
a birthday cake sandwich.
Oh.
Like Victoria Sponge type.
They're doing it again, are they?
So you remember the M&S one that we tried, the Wimbledon one? So it was
Yeah, the
strawberries and cream sandwich, you remember?
Yeah.
So now Tesco have come out with their birthday cake sandwich. So if you're celebrating someone's birthday in the office, which we're not today, unfortunately, but we could have a fake birthday,
right?
You bring in the birthday cake sandwich.
What's in it?
Good question. Brioche-style white bread, full-fat soft cheese, strawberry jam, and then multicoloured sugar sprinkles and vanilla frosting.
Doesn't do it for me.
I'll give it a go, though.
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
I think we should try and find one this morning.
Meanwhile, Greggs have teamed up with Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Now we're talking.
I like the sound of this.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Right. Fast food giant Greggs and KFC have teamed up to create a sausage roll drenched in gravy.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm not going to lie to you.
It doesn't sound very KFC, though. I think it's supposed to be chicken.
What's the KFC element of it? The gravy?
Yeah, I don't know, is it?
The gravy, of course, the gravy.
Oh, right. Is the gravy good?
You have to get gravy with everything with KFC. Do you not get it? I do, I always.
Oh.
Do you always
when
with
it says, would you like anything extra? And I go, yes, gravy.
The gravy? Oh, no.
Yeah, always with the gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Well, I'm also up for that, so I feel like maybe we should have a little taste test later.
OK, Greggs opens at 7 o'clock, so therefore we
You're across it.
Get that right. Get that.
And Tesco, let's get
And we'll
the
have a birthday cake sandwich afterwards.
And I'm quite keen for that. I think that would be quite nice.
Illegal migrants crossing the Channel may be able to use the human rights loophole to avoid deportation.
Well, under terms of the agreement with France, asylum seekers will not qualify for deportation if they lodge a human rights claim or say that they are under 18.
And how do you prove they're not? This is just one of the potential loopholes which could be exploited and threatens to undermine the government's attempt to smash the gangs.
Well, joining us now is Deputy Editor for Spiked Online, Fraser Myers. And it's inevitable, isn't it, that these loopholes have now been exposed?
Yes, but why would human rights not apply in this situation? I suppose this was absolutely inevitable. It could have been seen a mile off. And it's extraordinary. I mean, there's not just one, but two loopholes that we're talking about. Lodging a human rights claim, and that's just lodging a claim. You don't have to have a successful claim. You only have to have an outstanding claim.
Right.
And we've seen some pretty ridiculous claims that have been successful in recent weeks and years, including in some cases where the severity of people's crimes will put them in danger in their home country. So there was an Afghan flasher who couldn't be sent back to Afghanistan because of his compulsive behaviour would get him in trouble over there. So you only have to launch a claim, have an outstanding claim to be able to opt out of this scheme. You can say that you're under 18. It can sometimes take weeks or months, maybe, to have an age test, to have that verified. And actually, you become ineligible for deportation after just 28 days. The other factor is that France can simply ignore the names that we send, of people we want to send back. Yet, on the other hand, on the other side, in terms of the people that they will select to come to the UK, the terms of the treaty say that under no circumstances should any personal information be shared with the British government under data protection rules.
Do you know what makes me angry about this, Fraser? Why are we even bothering now debating this? It's quite obvious the French don't want this to work. The lawyers don't want this to work. Surely the government and the Home Secretary, despite doing all her rounds with everybody except us yesterday, cannot seriously believe that they're going to get any reasonable figures of deportation.
I think the way the government sees this as almost like a PR issue. They want to be seen to be doing something to stop the boats. They think that people are concerned about migration because of the media, maybe because of channels like this or because of the papers, rather than it being an issue that is actually affecting people and annoying people, as we've seen, well, with many of the protests around the country that have often been sparked by quite serious crimes. So for the government, I think they see it as a win simply to be out on the TV, being able to announce a new scheme. The actual effects of it, they're less certain about, or they're less convinced of.
Well, they're hoping that this is going to be a deterrent, aren't they? And they're also saying from a security perspective, at least you have more control about who comes into the country, because they would need to have a family connection to Britain, and we're being told they're going to have a full security check and the documentation would be checked.
I think if it were truly a one-in, one-out policy, that would definitely be an improvement on the uncontrolled nature of the current crisis. As things stand, although the government won't confirm a figure, we're expecting only about 50 people a week. That's so 1 in or 17 in, 1 out under those terms. And also it's a pilot scheme, would be the other government's other defence. We want to see how it works before it can be possibly expanded. It's going to run for 11 months. Maybe it'll be expanded. I suspect it'll be scrapped, given that we've already pointed out all of these loopholes.
There's this YouGov poll out today. I don't know if you've seen it, Fraser, but 45% of Britons back an end to all immigration. Does that surprise you?
I mean, that is extraordinary, because that would be, talking about having no immigration would, I think, cause serious problems for the country. But it just shows that attitudes to this issue are hardening. People have had enough of both small boats migration, large-scale illegal migration, but also lots of people coming in undercutting wages for working-class people. This is a serious problem that is not going to be solved with PR stunts. I think there needs to just be a sea change in attitudes in the political class. You're starting to see that a little bit. I mean, you're seeing even, people in the civil service, officials coming out and saying that migration isn't all it's cracked up to be. The Office for Budget Responsibility recently said that they think it's actually doing damage to the economy, which is an extraordinary turn.
Yeah. That's a talking point, and a talking point that lawyers are involved in all of this, and how lawyers interpret rules and regulations. J.K. Rowling reported today she's called for a boycott over trans bra fitting row. This is in Marks and Spencer's, and I want to ask you what your opinion would be of this, right? So there's a 14-year-old girl, she goes to M&S to buy a bra, and then a 6'2" bloke, biological male, asked her, she's 14, in the lingerie section if she needed help with a bra fitting. Now, is that worth protesting about, or I thought the law came in to say that these would be women-only spaces?
Well, if I had a 14-year-old daughter, which I don't, I would think
what about even you? What about you?
Well, I wouldn't want anybody to fit me for a bra. But if I had a 14-year-old daughter, I certainly wouldn't want anybody but a parent.
I wonder if Fraser's got a view on this.
Yeah, I think, the girl says she was quite distressed by this occurrence. It was an unexpected male in the lingerie area. You expect there to be female attendants, and the law is now very clear that transgender women are not legally...
Though Marks and Spencer are not saying they're going to change this. They've apologised, but they're not saying they're going to change this.
Yeah, they've said that this specific daughter will be able to have a female attendant next time she goes to Marks and Spencer, but I don't think there will be a...
OK. Do you think this is completely inappropriate or not? Let us know this morning, and we'll discuss that. Have your say. Thank you, Fraser. Appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Meanwhile, Prince Harry is facing criticism from the charity watchdog after a bitter dispute at the charity he co-founded was allowed to spill into the public eye.
Yes, the Charity Commission has issued a formal action plan for Sentebale. That's the Duke's charity that was supporting children and young people in southern Africa. It flagged leadership confusion and poor governance, but found no evidence of bullying or misconduct by Prince Harry. That's despite claims from the charity's current chair.
I thought they were accused of bullying him, not that he was accused of bullying them. But anyway, it's all very confusing. The spokesperson for Harry says the findings clear Harry, but claim the real damage will be felt by the children the charity supports.
Well, we're joined now by royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliam. Morning to you, Richard. And it is such a shame for the charity, isn't it? Because inevitably it has damaged them, and that in turn will affect the children that they hope to support.
Yes, this is at the heart of the Charity Commission's report. All sides, I mean, the charity, you're quite right, it sounds like a nest of vipers. The toxicity of the publicity surrounding the row, which especially appears to have blown up not only over personality issues, but also over fundraising, whether or not it should be, for example, based in the United States, or whether it should be in Africa or London or whatever. But it's a very serious blow to Prince Harry, because he co-founded this charity with Princeso of Lesotho in 2006 in his mother's memory, and he'd hoped apparently that this report would, quote, unveil the truth and put the charity back in the right hands, and there's no doubt that he will have nothing more to do with it. The accusations, including bullying, misogyny, misogynoir, these were accusations by the current chair, Dr. Chandauka, against Prince Harry, and the Charity Commission has not upheld them.
Chair will leave, as I understand it. Where will this leave the charity?
The charity will be able to proceed under Dr. Chandauka's chairmanship, and also under the current trustees, but with new guidelines. What has been revealed, and this is damaging so far as Prince Harry is concerned, is the way that it was managed previously by himself as a patron. There is an attack on the fact that the patron's role wasn't clearly defined. This could be interpreted as Harry, who, after all, has raised an enormous amount of money for Sentebale over the years. Nonetheless, it's the way he's handled things, but also there was no complaints procedure, issues linked to what the chair should do and so forth. It appears that poor governments, this has been upheld, and this he'll find it devastating.
Richard, thank you for your take on things. We've got a statement from the former trustees of Sentebale. What does it say, Ellie?
It says, we are disheartened by the way in which the Charity Commission has chosen to ignore key concerns and evidence raised with them regarding the leadership and oversight of Sentebale's chair.
We remain gravely concerned for the future of the charity and the well-being of the communities we served for 19 years following the mission set out by Prince Harry and Princeso in honour of their mothers.
Now at 14 minutes past 7, it's time for a check on the weather with Alex Burkle.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. This is your latest Met Office weather update for GB News. For many, today is going to be a fine day, the exception just being across the far north of Scotland. Here there will be a front bringing a bit of cloud, a bit of drizzly rain at times as well, though a lot of that is going to clear through as we go towards lunchtime. Elsewhere, like I said, a fine picture for most, lots of fine sunny weather around, albeit a bit of cloud bubbling up at times, and some high-level cloud may make the sunshine a bit hazy, a bit milky as we go through into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little bit higher than yesterday and feeling a bit warmer too, with more sunshine sunshine and lighter winds, highs of around 24-25 Celsius towards the south and just a few degrees lower than this further north. As we go through into this evening and actually across the south, apart from some thicker cloud perhaps across parts of the southwest, for many it's staying fine. There'll be some late glimmers of sunshine as well for most here. A slightly different story as we head towards the northwest. Winds picking up and a bit more cloud starting to push in across parts of Northern Ireland, and a few outbreaks of rain for the west of Scotland too. And it is going to be turning a little bit cloudier because of a frontal system that's starting to make its way in. This is gradually going to push its way east and southeastwards as we go overnight, so things turning pretty wet across Northern Ireland, much of Scotland, and some rain just about fringing into parts of northwest England and across western Wales as we go through the early hours of tomorrow as well. Towards the southeast, staying dry with some clearer skies, temperatures here holding up in the mid-teens generally, and similar across northwestern parts, but obviously here is going to be a cloudy, wet start to the day tomorrow. That front continues its progress south and eastwards. It could be a bit heavy at times, particularly across higher ground of Wales and northwest England, and across the southeast really it's going to take until quite late on for the rain to arrive, and by the time it does, that front will have broken up so much it will just be a few spots of rain and a bit of cloud. Behind the front, something a little bit brighter, and for many, temperatures peaking in the high teens or low to mid-20s.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
The Great British Giveaway, your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for a year.
Have a go.
This is your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year in the latest Great British Giveaway. That's right, we'll give you a cash lump sum that will cover 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an incredible £20,000. Plus, we'll add £5,000 on top of that for you to treat yourself. And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you, we'll give you £15,000 in cash instead. You have to hurry though, as lines will close on the 29th of August. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Is it just me? Or we see a headline here, the Chancellor must find £50 billion in tax rises or spending cuts to shore up Britain's battered finances. No, she doesn't. She's just got to stop spending. Well, you know, why have we got this money to give away to Syria? Why have we got this money to give away to migrants? Why have we got money to give away to anywhere, right, left and centre? So how are we going to get it? We're going to tax you. That's what they plan to do. Do you think that's a good idea, bad idea? Do you have an alternative? How can governments raise money without taxing us? Let us know. But up next...
Yep, still to come, it's 80 years since the Hiroshima bomb was dropped. So we're asking, is it time that we banned nuclear weapons?
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record, you say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
Because the failure is...
You're
the failure is...
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more.
Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Welcome back to Breakfast at 7:21. Now, 80 years ago today, the United States dropped the world's first atomic bomb on Hiroshima in Japan.
The second one came 3 days, I think, later in Nagasaki. It was a uranium-based weapon, nicknamed Little Boy. It killed an estimated 140,000 people and ushered in the nuclear age. 80 years later, we're asking, why are we bothering doing this? Should it be time to ban nuclear weapons? Joining us to debate this, political commentator Samuel Sweek and former British Army spokesperson Major Michael Shearer. Major Shearer, first of all, what would your argument be for maintaining the bomb?
Eamonn, the case for the UK maintaining a nuclear weapons rests on the principle of deterrence, to maintain peace, prevent coercion, and deter aggression. Successive UK governments have maintained this stance, and will argue that it's a credible, independent nuclear deterrent that has kept us safe for decades.
Sammy, what would you say to that argument? Because that's the argument that you hear from the likes of the US and Russia, don't you, that this is really important as a deterrence function?
Well, deterrent's a really, really interesting word. I think that what should be a greater deterrent against nuclear weapons is actually what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the immediate death toll, but also the long-standing health issues that are generationally passed on where they have been used, where people live in immense and chronic pain for the rest of their life, for their entire lives from birth to death. I think that the use of nuclear weapons should be completely unfathomable for absolutely every single world leader. And let's be honest now, any so-called threat we do have from other countries also have nuclear weapons. There is absolutely no logical case to keep them. There's the best deterrent that any government could have is having a great diplomacy with other countries and ensuring that you never get to a point where nuclear weapons are going to be used.
But I suppose, Samuel, the United States have just sent 2 nuclear submarines within striking distance of Russia over the situation in Ukraine. So it's still very relevant, and you could argue it may stop Russia doing anything extra in Ukraine.
I mean, yeah, you could argue that, but probably what's more likely to stop Russia doing anything in Ukraine is to get them round the table and bring an end to the war. All of this this really unceremonious saber rattling that governments insist on doing actually gets us nowhere closer to peace. Nuclear weapons have never brought us closer to peace. That is completely, that's a fatuous argument. They have done nothing but create a hostile atmosphere around the world.
Except you could argue, Major, could you not, that those two bombs we talked about, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, brought the Second World War to a close?
It absolutely did do that. Of course, the horrific injuries that come with that is a reminder to the world not to use them if you can avoid it. Look, we spoke about Ukraine just a moment ago. Let's remember that Ukraine, they gave up their nuclear arsenal after the Budapest Memorandum of Security Agreement signed in December 1994. Shamefully, it was the UK and the United States, and ironically, the Russians, who give Ukraine their assurance of security if they give up their tactical nuclear weapons. I absolutely am of the mind that if Ukraine maintained that nuclear arsenal, they would never have been invaded by Russia.
Samuel?
I mean, just to go on the first point there, I mean, whether or not those bombs in Nagasaki and Hiroshima ended the Second World War is completely up to historical debate. And actually, there's a stronger case to say that the Soviets declaring war on Russia, as well as the dire economic situation brought on by the war that Japan was facing, was probably a greater cause than actually those two bombs. But no, as I said, using them as the argument that they are a deterrent is nonsense. All of the wars that we have seen around the world subsequent to World War II, they have been a presence, and they haven't prevented war. And I think it's not a solid argument at all to say that Ukraine having weapons would have stopped the Russian invasion, because all of Ukraine's allies have nuclear weapons, and we are not going to use them. They are a complete waste of money, and the stronger use of diplomacy is completely going. I mean, we talk so much about how we can't give money for children for free school meals, we can't give pensioners this and that. Do you know, the Trident program, Britain's nuclear program, has cost over £200 billion in its lifetime. And with annual payments between 4 to 6 billion being added to it for upkeep and other sorts of things. There's no argument to keep nuclear weapons, because anyone who would dare to use them should be nowhere near power.
OK, gentlemen, we have to leave it there, I'm afraid. Major Michael Shearer and Samuel Sweet, thank you very much.
Thanks for your arguments. Appreciate it. 27 minutes past 7. Sport next with Paul. This is GB News Breakfast on a Wednesday morning. Eamonn Holmes and Ellie Costello.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M4 eastbound at junction 48 near Hendy is experiencing delays due to resurfacing work, with the exit slip road closed and diversions in place. In Cambridgeshire, on the A14 westbound at junction 36, there's been a traffic collision with one of 2 lanes currently closed. Expect normal traffic conditions to resume between 8:45 and 9 this morning. And on the trains, Great Northern trains are currently not operating between Finsbury Park and Moorgate, while the Island Line is running a reduced service. Stay up to date at gbnews.com. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more.
Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hot off the presses, perspiring all over the place, Paul Coit now with the hot
And perspiring gently.
Yes, yes, glowing.
Which is more than Victoria Pleasant did. By the way, Victoria Pleasant, there's a lack of vowels in there. They're a Czech team. P-L-Z-E-N. Pleasant.
Right.
Beaten by Rangers 3-0, qualifying for the Champions League. So it's such a long way to go to actually get to the final 36.
Why do they do it this way, Paul? I mean, all of it is inevitably about raising money.
Yes.
Always about the money.
Always about the money.
Why couldn't they just have the final 36 right
It would
from the
be
start?
easier to do it that way, wouldn't it? But it's the same now with the Conference League, and also it's the same with the Europa League. They've just got to get the qualify. If you're not straight into the qualification, then you've got to go through the games before starts in July. But anyway, they've got a second leg to play, and then they've got to play off, and if they do that, then they're into the 36. A few other bits and pieces very briefly. Manchester United, Newcastle want Benjamin Sesko, who, how tall is he, Ellie?
6'5".
6'5". He's
and
very
I called
tall.
it.
Very tall fella. And anyway, he looks like he's going to go to Manchester United, which seems more likely because Newcastle have not had a very good transfer window, but they want him. And also Alexander Isak, that looks like he's leaving Newcastle to go to Liverpool. So they desperately want Sesko.
I've been having bad thoughts.
Oh, you haven't?
I have.
You've got to be positive.
Why?
No, because my inability to travel from London to Manchester, Belfast to Manchester, London to Belfast and whatever, it's got me thinking, should I start attending, not supporting, but attending Fulham or Brentford or Palace?
Keep going.
Around London.
Spurs?
Well, Spurs are a magnificent stadium, but I couldn't really bring myself to go there, I don't think.
The hospitality is good. And you'd have Coity there.
And I wouldn't... Well, that's a point.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a point. You're there. Could you use my excuse?
Yeah, no, I'd rather not be an excuse.
But I'd feel really bad about it. But I'm fed up not getting to football the way I used to.
Don't you get a better view on the telly anyway?
Oh, to be stupid.
It's not the same.
No.
Sorry. I don't know. You get better close-ups.
You say such a thing.
Oh,
Look, I'm going to show you some tennis. I've got this. This is great. Beach tennis. Playa do Loanco. I've got to be really careful the way I say
good
that.
at these.
Really careful. But anyway, this is in Spain. Have a look at this. They play beach tennis, and it's a proper tournament. Now, see all the waves coming in there?
Yeah.
So this is early on in the day.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. So when the tide goes out, then they build the tennis stadium.
Oh.
Then they build the tennis stadium.
Yes, straight after that. Now,
so they've got to have this down again in about 8 hours, do they?
That's right. They get it done straight away. So then they play the tennis.
Oh, it's
They set up the court. The sand is very slow, by the way, as you can imagine playing tennis.
very wet,
Dodgy bounces. Then, look, this is the evening time. The tide comes back in and washes
What's the point of this?
away. Because people like me will just go,
I think that's quite
look
cool.
at that.
That's a lot of people there,
It's all
Paul.
done in one day. So the stands are already up there, but then the tide will come in. So the water with the stands, they stay as they are. But then when they do the court, then they've got to roll it and then put the lines on, and then it all gets washed away, and then they go
But
again.
you, like me, will remember when football grounds used to be like that.
Yeah? Not
surfaces.
Oh, yes. There used to be terrible surfaces. But look at it. I just loved it. I think
I like that as well.
I
Very
really like it.
professional setup as well.
Right, a few birthdays and anniversaries for you. Let's go with some of these. First one, please, is Robin van Persie. You would see him as a Manchester United player as well, of course. Played
I'd
for the
say
Arsenal.
Robin van Persie is...
Head coach at Feyenoord now. How old is he?
45.
OK.
I'd say 42.
42 is the right answer. Very good. Very good.
Might have helped that it was on the screen.
Well, I don't know. There was a rate, but how about Billy?
What a great player.
Very good player.
For both Arsenal
Manager
and
at Feyenoord now. Billy Boston, we've got for you. Now, Billy Boston, we talked about Billy Boston. You remember Billy Boston, the great rugby league player, groundbreaking black rugby league player, was knighted?
Yes, he was in the news.
He got knighted a few weeks
Yes,
a few weeks ago. That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we said he was very old, and he's the first rugby league player to be knighted. How old today? Very old man.
96.
96?
Nice. 91.
91? Did you say 91?
I did.
Is the right answer again?
She's looking at something.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not looking at anything.
Sense a little foul play going on here.
I know him because he was knighted a few weeks ago. So it's on the tip of my tongue.
I got one more for you. This day in 1926.
Yes.
19-year-old New Yorker Gertrude Ederle became the first woman to do what?
Swim.
There she is.
Swim 400 metres backstroke.
The first woman to swim the 400 metres backstroke. It started off really well.
She looks like a swimmer.
Went downhill.
Yeah, no, she swum somewhere, and it'll be somewhere far.
14 hours and 39 minutes it took her.
Oh, my word.
She swam to...
Come on.
Ellis.
Everybody's screaming at the TV.
Well, she couldn't have swum the Atlantic, so we'll forget that.
Did she swim the Channel?
First woman to swim the English Channel.
Now, I'm very good at this.
She was American.
She was an American.
Oh.
19-year-old New Yorker, so she did it in 14 hours, 39 minutes, yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
And ended up in Deal in Kent, and there she was.
Which is a very nice part of the world as well.
Very
so
nice.
good for her.
I've never been to Deal in Kent.
I don't think I've ever been to Deal.
We could
Very
go,
nice,
we could go
very
for the
pretty.
day.
Very
Is
pretty,
it?
yeah.
I've dealt in Kent, but I've never been to Deal in Kent.
Well,
which
I
is
recommend for a nice day out.
Deal or no deal?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coity. And can I just say, I thought that was a fantastic performance by me.
You know what?
That was, I believe that was 3 out of 3.
It was, quite frankly, ridiculously
It was
amazing.
a stunning performance.
Do you know what? It was unbelievable.
Jealous, don't worry.
He's just jealous. He's just
Unbelievable.
He's jealous. Don't...
I think it's
There was a
the
song, wasn't there? It's unbelievable. But like the newspapers coming up next, and we do that in the company of Penny Smith and Anna Firth. Looking forward to these two. They'll probably sing the rest of that song for us after we
unbelievable.
find the holiday sun for you throughout Europe. Here we go.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
There's some hot air across parts of northern Africa at the moment, and as that's feeding its way northwards, it's going to push into Spain and Portugal. And here we're going to see temperatures rising through the next few days, could get into the low 40s at times. Otherwise, there will be a spell of showery rain affecting Gibraltar perhaps on Thursday, and a few showers across Italy and also into Greece and Turkey, but slightly fewer than I'm expecting through today. And the outlook for many is looking sunny and fairly hot.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Have you seen the president yet?
Morning, guys. No, not yet. We're just in the press room behind the scenes. I've got my Trump Turnberry coffee cup, though, just to prove to you that I really am here. We're waiting here basically until we get the nod to run out, hopefully to see Donald Trump and Keir Starmer together. These occasions, I'm realising, are a little bit sort of hurry up and wait. We think that the Prime Minister and the President might be meeting outdoors today. Yesterday, you might have seen Trump with Ursula von der Leyen in the amazing ballroom, in the grand ballroom here at Turnberry. Well, the weather is surprisingly nice for Scotland. The sun is out, it isn't raining. So there's a chance that we will get to talk to these two world leaders, but we won't be in the ballroom. We'll be outside, I think, on the golf course. We're just waiting to hear.
And what's the atmosphere like, Bev? Is there a lot of excitement?
I think amongst the press, they're all fairly used to this sort of thing. I mean, I still feel a little bit like a competition winner because I came on Air Force One, and I'm still really excited about the whole ordeal. But I think a lot of people here have done this sort of thing before. You know, we've had an influx this morning of the British press. So I'm with the international call who came over on Air Force One. There are about 13 of us. But the British press are here as well today. They're all obviously keen to get their own questions into Starmer. It will be that setting where, you know, we just all go for it if we can and throw a question out in that direction. I got lucky on Friday when we were on the runway at Prestwick Airport, Glasgow Prestwick Airport, when we landed on Air Force One, and I asked him about immigration, and of course he gave us that line about the fact that Europe has to get its act together.
GB News, the People's Channel.
This is Britain's newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Quick question to begin the newspaper review. Anna Firth, where are you from? Where were you born?
Leigh-on-Sea.
Leon, oh, that's no good. That's no good.
Essex born and bred.
But that's no good. That's no good. Penny Smith, on the other hand, was born in Nottingham, and the reason that is good, Penny, is
well, not so good actually.
No, the headline is awful. It says that they're the worst snogs. Folk from Nottingham are the worst kisses in Britain, according to a new survey.
Is that why you moved to London?
You're quite ever better. I was 30 before I moved to London, actually. I've just I roamed all over the country, sort of living in various other places. But no, I'm from Nottinghamshire, and I'm a really brilliant kisser. It's been said.
Who told you were a really brilliant kisser?
Me. I said I'm really brilliant.
Headline news this morning. Penny Smith is a fantastic kisser.
No, they're saying signs of a bad kiss, bad breath, using too much tongue, keeping your eyes open and clashing teeth. But I would say, just when they say using too much tongue, I mean, just not too like the sloppy kisses.
Oh, those sloppy kisses.
You know, when you just sort of move away and even your eyebrows are wet, you just go, no, that's just not good.
Also, eyes open. Creepy.
Oh,
like a goldfish.
Wrong.
Oh, it's wrong on
means
so many
you're not
levels.
enjoying it enough.
Oh. Does it say where the best kisses are in the country?
Belfast.
It's got to be Essex, hasn't it, Ellie?
Come on. Imagine it's Essex.
No, it's gone for the bad ones. They're going, I suppose London and Edinburgh, they're saying is not so bad. But yeah, Nottingham bad, Bristol second bad, Sheffield, Gloucester.
How did they work this out?
I don't know.
How exactly?
Did they ever ask me? Did they ask anybody here?
Who's done the market research?
No.
And were they attractive or not?
Have you ever kept your eyes open during a kiss, Eamonn?
Moving on. I've got Anna. I want you to talk to me about allotments. And would I be right in thinking that you might be in favour of what Jeremy Corbyn is hoping for? He's into the preservation of allotments and allotments being council-owned. But tell us the story.
So this is Angela Rayner's plan. Angela Rayner apparently is after your allotment. Allotments, of course, have been very much on the rise in recent years. Lots of people really enjoying allotments. Fantastic for people's mental health, fantastic for nutrition, fantastic for getting lots of protein into your diet, which I'm learning about at the moment, which is really, really important if you want to stay healthy.
It's good for the mind as well,
It's good for the mind. So Jeremy Corbyn apparently is a keen allotment user, of course. I don't know how many allotments they had.
He's in favour, certainly, of them being council-owned.
Yeah, and well, the point here is that Angela Rayner is going to sell them off.
Yeah.
Why?
So we're going to be losing allotments.
What, for housing?
It does, yeah. Well, it's going to be very dense housing, isn't it? But yeah, presumably for housing, to meet her housing. But what best made me laugh was here is Jeremy Corbyn holding a massive marrow.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
And
yes.
I just wonder, that's just such, to me, that's such a typical politician's picture, because I bet he did not grow that marrow.
It's a massive marrow.
But marrows are the easiest things in the world to grow. If you want a child to get excited, grow marrows, because honestly, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as long as they're not attacked by slugs, my goodness, when you pick them up and the slugs on the other side. But they are very easy to grow, massive. Every single time when I was a journalist on a local newspaper, every single summer I went and did, people guess the weight of the giant marrow business.
But it's really, I do. The serious point here, I think, is that allotments are actually a really good thing.
They're important for your mental health.
Really important. And
but the lesson surely is there from selling off council housing. So it was never replaced. If you sell off council allotments, they'll not be replaced.
They won't be replaced, no. And it's a resource, and they probably should have some protection, because we just don't want Angela Rayner concreting over our allotments.
No. Not over everything. Yeah. Those little green lungs in
they're lovely, aren't they?
Stuff.
I know people who've got allotments, and they got really excited when they were awarded them and whatever.
You get waiting lists for them. People wait years for allotment spaces.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Penny, let's have a look at the Times, shall we? And this is a warning from the Prime Minister that children are becoming detached from the real world.
A bit like him.
Yes, but it's because they're either stuck in their bedrooms behind a screen or essentially on their screens. It's about the fact they're becoming too often isolated at home. It is a sort of a combination of so many things. It's about people being scared of letting their kids out to roam the streets, as we did when we were young.
That's true.
Sort of going off, you'd be, as long as you were back for tea, it was all fine.
Yeah. Or back before the street lights came on.
Yes, exactly. That I know. Yes, you've been told. So
you're back onto the snogging story.
And it's also about just the endless joy of a smartphone and your tablet and your computer, and it is a joy when you're doing it. It's just that it's making children isolated, and that's not good for them.
No, yeah. I mean, I actually remember campaigning on this about 10 years ago when I was a councillor, because it was just after the Molly Russell died, having been groomed online on these horrible suicide chats, and died in her bedroom. And my point was just really simple: can we just get phones out of kids' bedrooms at night, so they actually can get a decent night's sleep? Because so many schools were telling me that the children arriving in the morning, they're dog-tired, they're fractious, they're irritable. They can't learn, they can't interact. And so just getting the phones out of bedrooms at night would be a good start.
Do you a supporter of what Hugh Grant, the actor Hugh Grant, is trying to do in limiting the accessibility to devices from children?
Oh, absolutely, particularly in schools.
Primary school, yeah.
Yeah, particularly in schools. I mean, it is a double-edged sword in some ways, because they are an incredible resource, and you can look things up in a matter of seconds. But I don't believe you need them. I don't believe every child needs them in school. There could be.
Does it make you think? I mean, I was just looking about the Hiroshima bomb there. I was on my phone looking it up there, the details of that in Nagasaki and whatever. But when you think when we were at school, we had to go to a library and we had to look up books. I mean, it's
and drag out that giant encyclopedia.
Yes.
Yeah,
which actually built your muscles up.
Yes.
Yeah. As you
what was that encyclopedia you used to get? You used to go around selling it to your house.
Encyclopedia Britannica. And there were 14, but we just had this sort of giant thing, which was it was about this fat and really quite unwieldy. And when I was about, I sort of remember the first time staggering back to go and look something up.
I remember.
It was exciting.
I remember something that really shocked me. I was a governor in a grammar school, and we took we took all the young girls to a theatre for a performance, and in the interval I expected it to be absolutely awash with twittering and talking, not twittering as in, actual talking with all these girls enjoying the interval. It was silent.
Really?
All on
How
their phone.
depressing.
Everyone on their phone.
And that was the moment I thought, this has gone way
It's gone too far.
And it's children losing their social skills because they're not having conversation.
Exactly, because then they arrive in the workplace, and of course it's such an important part of working is interacting.
Did you hear that story as well about the people nowadays the ones who've sort of, grown up entirely with this in their lives? They now no longer say hello when they answer the phone.
What do they say?
They don't. They just wait there breathing because
they're quite frightened about it.
Because they're frightened. But not only that, they're also frightened because of scammers. So if they don't say anything, you see, and now it explains, because if you say something and then it's a...
Well, you were telling me about a new word, Penny.
Oh, there's a new word. I can't remember what it is.
Fobbing.
Fobbing. Well, no, fobbing is when you snub somebody to get onto your phone. But there's a new thing now, and I've forgotten what the word is, but it's where you're talking to somebody, but you're also scrolling, doing your Instagram, doing your social feeds.
What you're doing, Eamonn?
What, love?
What you're doing right now.
Yeah, but tell you what I'm doing. Talking about saying hello, I've got a former SAS soldier who took part in a very famous military operation, and he's saying he's so excited today. It's great to see Penny Smith. I haven't seen her in years.
Oh,
so there you are.
nice. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice thing.
I'll give you his name later.
Yes, if you could, yeah. Yes,
You got in touch after you heard you were great.
Super snogger on GB News.
Oh, dear. Anna, I love this story in the Mail this morning. Now, I've actually got a lot of respect for Lauren Sanchez for this. She was in Ibiza, isn't she, at the moment, with Jeff Bezos, and she was kind of scrambling all over the rocks in her high heels.
Oh, my gosh, this really got me going. I mean, here she is.
We turn it round for us, we can see the picture.
Married to, multi-billionaire, worth $220 billion, and can't even afford a pair of decent flip-flops, which you can get for £5 on South End.
She doesn't want to wear them. She doesn't want to wear them.
But both Penny and I bet you as well, Ellie, we are wearing flat shoes because they're, so much better for your feet. But on a beach it says they're 8-inch heels. I don't actually believe that. I think they're more like 4-inch heels. But how
they're stupidly high, and she's scrambling over the rocks.
It's completely ridiculous.
I respect the glamour. I do.
Yes.
But it's probably not appropriate for a beach.
Ellie, can we talk about 141 more
Please,
sleeps till Christmas, because you love Christmas?
I love Christmas, and I'm very excited about this, and I can't wait. There's only 141 sleeps.
This is a company called B&M accused of going Christmas crackers by flocking mulled wine and festive beers in early August.
Oh, dear.
This was...
Oh, here it is, the mulled wine and mug set at B&M.
There you go. And it's a budget chain, their store in Leeds. It also shows various other places. And there are people just getting very hot under the collar. I think Christmas has been creeping ever closer to Easter. And at some stage, there will be hot cross buns next to Christmas crackers.
Yeah, at some stage, yeah.
When do you think it can start, in your mind?
You see...
Well, look, when I was a kid, it was 2 weeks before the event.
Oh, really? Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Well, it was. I think it was pretty much. I would say that they came out after bonfire night.
After what?
After bonfire night,
exactly
things
what I was going to say.
started. You started to get things like Christmas crackers and things like that. So by the middle of November, so really a month, definitely.
You have Halloween, you have bonfire night, and then you have Christmas.
And then you have my birthday.
Yeah.
But if it's all the year round, it's nothing special, is it?
Yeah, and the build-up's the best bit, I'd say. So
what I find very odd is how a family... Say, for example, you've got a family of 4, and maybe you're adding another couple of people because it's Christmas. Come Christmas, and you see this sort of, shopping for 6 people, and instead of just, I don't know, you'd probably have a chicken, wouldn't you? For 6 people, for Sunday roast, you'd have a chicken, you'd have a load of roast potatoes and a couple of veg.
Well, you're making me
All
hungry.
of a sudden, at Christmas time, it's... a massive turkey inside a goose, inside a swan, inside something else. There's 855... I mean, do you develop a second stomach just for Christmas?
Yes, and you have to, and it's part of the fun.
And I never got rid of it. Tell us, Anna, why you should clean your windows.
Oh, well, this is another hilarious story about the false widow spider, who always seems to sort of, you know, make a comeback every summer.
I think he was in my bath the other day.
And it's sort of one of these typical strap lines that says, you know, lethal spider is at large. And when you actually read it, most people, if they're bitten by this little thing, it's a completely mild reaction.
Yeah.
So I think this guy who's written this story has probably got shares or owns a window cleaning company, because it says that you've got to clean your windows to avoid the false widow spider coming in.
They like dirty windows.
They like dirty windows.
I think they like clean windows as well. I don't think they have a preference. I don't think a spider meanders over and goes, oh, do you know what, that's filthy, that window.
But they like their spiders' webs. They like
See you again later, guys. Thank you very much indeed. How clean will the weather be, Alex?
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. This is your latest Met Office weather update for GB News. For many, today is going to be a fine day, the exception just being across the far north of Scotland. Here there will be a front bringing a bit of cloud, a bit of drizzly rain at times as well, though a lot of that is going to clear through as we go towards lunchtime. Elsewhere, like I said, a fine picture for most, lots of fine sunny weather around, albeit a bit of cloud bubbling up at times and some high-level cloud make the sunshine a bit hazy, a bit milky as we go through into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little bit higher than yesterday and feeling a bit warmer too, with more sunshine and lighter winds, highs of around 24-25 Celsius towards the south and just a few degrees lower than this further north. As we go through into this evening and actually across the south, apart from some thicker cloud perhaps across parts of the southwest, for many it's staying fine. There'll be some late glimmers of sunshine as well for most here. A slightly different story as we head towards the northwest. Winds picking up and a bit more cloud starting to push in across parts of Northern Ireland and a few outbreaks of rain for the west of Scotland too, and it is going to be turning a little bit cloudier because of a frontal system that's starting to make its way in. This is gradually going to push its way east and southeastwards as we go overnight, so things turning pretty wet across Northern Ireland, much of Scotland, and some rain just about fringing into parts of northwest England and across western Wales as we go through the early hours of tomorrow as well. Towards the southeast, staying dry with some clearer skies. Temperatures here holding up in the mid-teens generally, and similar across northwestern parts, but obviously here is going to be a cloudy, wet start to the day tomorrow. That front continues its progress south and eastwards. It could be a bit heavy at times, particularly across higher ground of Wales and northwest England, and across the southeast really it's going to take until quite late on for the rain to arrive, and by the time it does, that front will have broken up so much it will just be a few spots of rain and a bit of cloud. Behind the front, something a little bit brighter, and for many, temperatures peaking in the high teens or low to mid-20s.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Expect delays on the M4 eastbound between junctions 3 and 2 due to a broken down vehicle with one lane operational. A 40-minute delay against expected traffic should clear by 9:15 this morning. Diversions remain for resurfacing on the M4 eastbound at junction 48 Hendy Exit Slip Road. Additionally, the A27 eastbound entry slip from the A3 in Portsmouth has one lane closed after a collision. And on the trains, ScotRail services are suspended between Inverness and Kyle of Lochalsh, Wick and Aberdeen, with disruptions between Edinburgh and Tweedbank and reduced service on the Island Line. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Let us take on some of your financial stresses and pay your mortgage or rent for the next 12 months. We want to give you a cash lump sum equivalent to 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an unbelievable £20,000. We'll also boost that by a further £5,000, so you really could have some fun in the coming year. for a chance to win. Text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Migrants will be able to exploit human rights loopholes to avoid returning to France.
Well, according to the new terms of the One In, One Out treaty, small boat migrants will be ineligible for deportation if they have outstanding human rights claims or other legal challenges.
Now, the treaty also gives France and others EU member states a veto over which individuals are returned.
So, has this new deal, hailed by the Prime Minister as groundbreaking, already proving to be unworkable?
Not only that, but the British taxpayer will have to pay all the costs of migrants going both ways across the Channel, and the whole thing can be suspended with just a week's notice.
Think that's a headache? Well, here's another one for the Chancellor. Rachel Reeves is facing a £50 billion black hole in the budget as pressure mounts to balance the books.
Prince Harry is facing criticism after a bitter dispute with a charity that he co-founded went public. A source has told GB News that he is devastated.
And the war rages on this morning, with both sides continuing to blame each other. Meanwhile, Prince Harry turns on the referee. More details shortly.
Bill and Hillary Clinton have been ordered to testify in an investigation into the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. It follows Donald Trump's refusal to release files on the child sex offender.
Donald Trump's envoy will visit Moscow today as the deadline he's given to Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine approaches.
And they are the Scottish-based space company looking for a launch site. We will meet Skyrora, who have just been given a license to send rockets into space.
And in sport, Rangers move closer to Champions League qualification, but still have 3 games to go. Manchester United, Newcastle fight it out for Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko. And it's worrying times for Sheffield Wednesday, as they could go out of business.
Well, it's a fine day for many today. However, there will be a spell of rain pushing through tomorrow. I'll have the details coming up.
Hello there to you on this Wednesday morning. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
So here we are, the English Premier League, not the Premier League, I think that's next week, isn't it? And then the Championship and whatever is already got underway.
Mm-hmm. No, that begins at the weekend.
So Paul is here, and just this headline about, one of the traditionally great clubs in this country, historically one of the oldest clubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sheffield
one
Wednesday.
of the 4 oldest clubs of the country, you're right.
Yeah, but maybe no more.
Yeah, I mean, it is a real worry. We'll find out more in about 20 minutes' time. But there's problems with the chairman, the owner. There's players that are not being paid. There's money that's still owed on the ground. It's financially, Sheffield Wednesday is a disaster at the moment. And
the question you got to ask is why?
Exactly. Well, this is what we're going to find out.
And so many clubs seem to be in trouble with this.
Well, Morecambe is another club. Morecambe obviously is a smaller club than Sheffield Wednesday. They're going through a terrible time at the moment.
They're playing Bury, aren't they?
Yeah,
and Bury have been through a terrible time.
Yeah, it is a real worry, and this is where you've got the football regulator who's supposed to come in and stop these things from happening. And then there's situations where you've got owners who have to go through the test to make sure that they're good enough to look after these clubs. But
you see, Paul, my view is that, and it's bad news, that these clubs are now ripe for the picking. There's going to be a lot of them, and it's going to be the Americans that particularly come in and pick these up.
But the most important thing is
anything associated with American sport is bad news.
It worked out well for Wrexham, didn't it?
What?
Wrexham are doing quite well after US investment.
Yeah, but it's the business model that they all have and what they do, and they take tradition away and all that sort of thing. And as long as you have a film star associated with it, then you think that's OK.
You get the publicity.
This is a Thai owner with Sheffield Wednesday. But, I mean, if an American comes in, it's just as long as that club stays going. That's the most important thing.
Who have we got?
Alan Biggs, Sheffield legend when it comes to football journalism. He'll be with us in about 20 minutes.
I'm talking to him. OK, thanks, Paul.
Thank you very much, Coity. All right, let's get into politics, shall we? Because joining us now is Shadow Culture Minister Joe Robertson. Good to see you this morning, Mr Robertson.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you, Eamonn.
Joe, it is good to see you. I'll tell you what, it's good to see you for the past, what day is today? Day Wednesday. So this is my third day this week. And Joe, no Labour ministers, since we were voted the top news channel in the country last week, they have upped sticks and decided not to bother speaking to us. Nobody's really sure as to why, but they don't like it, and it appears we might be giving them too hard a time.
Yeah, I think they've gone into hiding, Eamonn. You're scaring them. Stop being so nasty to them. They're only the government.
OK, we're going to have to be nasty to you then as well. Hit them with all you've got, Ellie.
What do you make of the government's one-in, one-out deal? Because the deal takes effect today. And we've been looking at the weather forecast this morning. It looks as though it's set to be a good day, weather-wise. So this is going to be put to the test. Do you think it's going to work as a plan?
I don't think it's going to work. It looks to me like a gimmick. People are fed up with these pathetic gimmicks.
Well, they used the same word for you, didn't they? They used the word gimmick for the Rwanda scheme that you put into place, and those flights never took off.
We never know if Rwanda was a gimmick, do we? Because it didn't happen.
I mean, I think the Rwanda scheme was very far from a gimmick. In fact, you had other people saying that it was too tough, too harsh, wouldn't have been fair. The Rwanda scheme would have been a deterrent that this current government needed to see through, something that was put in place by us, and the current government should have seen that through. Look, I think people have become very, very weary of governments of different colours. I accept that we didn't do enough, coming up with these gimmicks and expecting to hoodwink people. One in, one out. I mean, it said if it does what it says on the tin, one in, one out isn't going to reduce the number of migrants in this country, because one in means there'll be one out the other side. So I don't think it's going to work. We don't even have numbers. The government aren't even telling us how many people will be deported under this scheme. So if they can't even give us numbers, how do we know whether it's successful or not?
I just can't keep quiet listening to you here, because, I mean, obviously what you're speaking is logic and sense and whatever, and that's not being biased towards you. It's that this whole scheme is so horrendously awful and unworkable and just about kissing Mr. Macron's backside, I would have thought. That is pointless. How, I want to put to some government minister, how can you actually defend this, and how do you actually believe that the rest of us are going to believe what you're saying?
And that's probably why there isn't a minister on here defending the government and taking your questions, because they can't defend it. It's the indefensible. It's so unbelievably cynical to talk about this as making any difference whatsoever. It won't even make a small dent. People need to see radical, wholesale changes to the way we deal with immigration in this country. And that should include on the table potentially leaving the ECHR if the courts stand in our way from taking sovereign decisions as a country. Decisions like who comes, who stays, who leaves.
But Joe, could I ask you about, you represent the Isle of Wight, beautiful part of the world. Are you affected by this illegal migration, just by being an island off the coast?
So we're affected in the way the whole country is affected by the pressure on public services, housing, and the economy generally. But no, we're not affected in the same way that, say, the Kent coastline is affected, where migrants are crossing in small boats. In that way, we're a lot further from France, so the crossing routes don't tend to reach the Isle of Wight.
Can I ask you about this YouGov survey that's out today? 45% of Britons back an end to all immigration. So that's 86% of Reform UK voters and 27% of Labour and Liberal Democrat voters. What do you make of that?
People are just fed up. They're fed up of years and years of promises. And again, I accept on our side as well, and a complete political failure by the political class to deal with immigration of all kinds. Now, the current government, with their gimmickry, are not going to solve anything. But worse is if they put their hands up and said, this is a massive challenge, we need to work with everyone, we need your help, give us ideas. They're not saying that. They're saying, we've got these great ideas. We've done a deal with France. They're going to take one back. Oh, and by the way, we've got to let one in when they do take one back. I mean, it's just so pathetic. They're treating the whole country for fools, but the country are not fools, and they won't be bought by it.
Can I ask you about your brief, which is culture? And we've got this story out today. You remember Bob Villan at Glastonbury and his chants of death to the IDF. Well, we're now hearing from a Jewish charity that anti-Semitic incidents spiked in the day after that performance, which is truly shocking. The highest daily total of incidents in the first half of 2025, 26 incidents were reported that day alone. What's your response to that?
It's what happens if you give these people a platform to say vile things. It has an effect. It influences people, and it gives other vile people a sense of cover that they can see it too. If they watch it being broadcast by a major national broadcaster on television, they think it's okay. And I've called out the broadcaster involved, BBC, for allowing that to happen. Right, live TV has a broadcast delay, doesn't it? So that if somebody says something vile, abhorrent, the broadcaster can pull it, and it's not put out on the airwaves. But they fail to do that.
Can I ask you about this investment in youth clubs, which the Prime Minister is announcing, £88 million package for youth clubs and schools. And this is because the Prime Minister is warning that children are becoming detached from the real world and they're stuck in their bedrooms or behind a screen. Would you support that investment in youth clubs?
We support any investment, but a lot of this isn't new money. And at the same time, the government is scrapping the National Citizen Service, which we brought in, supporting 1 million young people with new opportunities. So yes, we welcome the investment, but it's taking with one hand and giving with the other. And young people, what they need most is a growing economy and job opportunities. And the economy has been driven into the ground, and those new job opportunities aren't there. That's what young people really need.
Joe, thanks for your comments today. Joe Robertson is the Shadow Culture Minister, and he is an MP for the Isle of Wight and Cowes there. Thanks, Joe. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. 11 minutes now past 8 o'clock. Top story today is about illegal migrants crossing the Channel may be able to use a human rights loophole to avoid deportation. Under terms of the agreement, asylum seekers will not qualify for deportation if they basically say they are under 18.
Yes, well, this is just one of the potential loopholes which could be exploited and threatens to undermine the government's attempt to smash the gangs. Let's speak now to Catherine Forster. Is this a good deal for Britain, Catherine, now that we're looking at the details and some of the potential loopholes that have emerged?
Well, I think it feels like Groundhog Day. The government makes a very eye-catching pledge, trumpets it loudly, and then when you look at the detail, it all starts to unravel. So
Catherine, you say they make a pledge, I say they make a lie. I think that is the problem, and that is what abhors me, here, that you get these politicians who will either come out and tell a lie or dodge a channel like GB News so that they don't have to go down that road.
And Chris Philp describing the scheme, the shadow, Home Secretary, has said it's completely unworkable and will be ruthlessly exploited by human rights lawyers. That's pretty much exactly what Labour said for years about the Rwanda plan. So it feels like we've just got a new set of people, a different pledge, but the chances are it's going to be exploited by lawyers.
But Starmer would have known this. Starmer is a human rights lawyer.
Well, he was a human rights lawyer. The government do seem to believe that all of these different levers that they are pulling will yield results. But look, before he became Prime Minister, I remember my first interview for GB News with him saying, are you open to offshore processing, not a one-way ticket like Rwanda, but taking people to a third country? And he didn't rule it out because it seems like something drastic will be needed. So on this, first of all, it seems like if you claim to be under 18, potentially you can't be sent back. If you've got any outstanding human rights claim or make one, they have to keep you. Also, the whole thing can be suspended at a week's notice. The whole thing can be scrapped at a month's notice. It's only a pilot. We're only expecting about 50 a week to be going back anyway. The British taxpayer has to pay all the costs both ways. And the people that we return from the UK to France, the French can veto any of them if they don't like them because on security grounds or whatever. But the people that France then send to us in exchange, it says under no circumstances shall personal data be transferred from France to the UK. So it sounds, and I can't quite believe this, like France will choose who is going to come in exchange, but we won't get vital information about them. I mean, I find that mind-blowing. But I think Joe Robertson spoke for many people when he said people are just fed up. Yeah. People need to see radical, wholesale changes to the way we deal with immigration in this country. Of course, he's coming from a party that had 14 years to sort this out. Yeah. And didn't do so.
Catherine, thank you very much indeed. I'd like to ask people watching us or listening to us today what they feel about the government not speaking to GB News about this plan and how it's going to be workable and how the Prime Minister, as a human rights lawyer, knew what the implications of this would be, and what's all that hugging and kissing of Emmanuel Macron for every single chance they get. It's just like, honestly, I just really feel that we're being spun a lie. We're being told lies, and we're all expected to say, oh, yes, you're a government minister, therefore that must be the truth, when it obviously is not the truth. And your views would be welcome.
Well, lots of you getting in touch already on this. Roxy says, pilot scheme ain't going to work, so just save the cost. Brenda says, we know this won't work. It was never going to. This is just another smokescreen. Steve said, I would like to place a bet that every single asylum seeker coming across on boats is now going to claim to be a child. And James makes the point that if Macron signed up for this deal of the century, well, there is only one winner, and it's not Sir Keir Starmer. Yeah,
there we go. Keep those views coming in. 60 minutes past 8 o'clock on a Wednesday morning. Prince Harry facing criticism from the charity watchdog this morning after a bitter dispute at a charity he co-founded was allowed to spill over into the public eye.
Well, the Charity Commission has issued a formal action plan for Sentebale. That's the Duke's charity supporting children and young people in southern Africa. It flagged leadership confusion and poor governance, but found no evidence of bullying or misconduct by Prince Harry. That's despite claims from the charity's current chair.
Yeah, so who was accusing who? We've got Cameron Walker, our royal correspondent, here in the studio to talk about all of this. So was Harry being bullied, or is he being accused of bullying?
Well, he was being accused of bullying. Both sides are blaming each other. But what's really important to point out right from the start is it's not the Charity Commission's role to investigate individual cases or allegations of bullying. What they can do is see if there was a wider culture of bullying and harassment. And they said there was no evidence of that with Sentebale, of a wider culture. What they did say or acknowledge is the, and I quote, strong perception of ill treatment by some, which presumably is talking about what the chairwoman, Dr. Sophie Chanduka, alleged about Prince Harry during the various media interviews. As I said, Prince Harry has always denied that, and his spokesperson very keen to point out that they found no evidence of widespread bullying. However, both sides are still blaming each other. Sensibale, he co-founded in 2006 to help young children in Africa suffering with HIV and AIDS. In 2023, big private disagreements between the chair and the trustees over how to raise funds for the charity. They wanted to pivot to the United States to get more funding. This then spilled over into this public row, which is why the Charity Commission launched the investigation. You read out some of their findings there, the introduction, so I'm not going to go back over them, but I think the translation essentially means there was a bit of a power struggle between the chair and the other trustees, and by extension, Prince Harry as patron and the other patron, Prince Siso of Lesotho. The Charity Commission was highly critical of Harry, the chair, and the other trustees for allowing all of this to spill into the public, because they said it not only damaged the reputation of the charity and the good work it has done, over 100,000 children have been helped by the charity, but it also undermines the integrity of the charity sector in the United Kingdom as a whole. That's what the Charity Commission said. So it was incredibly strong words. Prince Harry's spokesperson is kind of turning on the charity a bit, on the Charity Commission a bit. They say their report falls troublingly short in many regards, primarily the fact that the consequences of the current chair's actions will not be borne by her, but by the children who rely on Sensibale's support. Dr. Sophie says the unexpected adverse media campaign that was launched by those who resigned, i.e. Prince Harry, has caused incalculable damage and offers a glimpse of the unacceptable behaviours displayed in private. Now, I've spoken to a source very close to Prince Harry, and Harry is absolutely devastated by all of this. He says it's a hostile takeover of his life's work. They also allege, the source, that Dr. Sophie Chanduka tried to install herself as this executive chair in order to give herself a salary and executive powers. Now, that's quite common in the United States, but there is no mechanism for that within British charity law. But I understand that Dr. Sophie privately is the second biggest donor to Sensibale, and she also turned down a salary from Prince Harry before all of this row erupted, because Prince Harry wanted to give her one, apparently, for her excellent or voluntary work, or extensive voluntary work, is what I'm told. In terms of the criticism, I did ask, well, what does Harry think of the criticism around, you know, all this public row? And he said, well, it wasn't Harry doing the TV rounds in interviews on the TV. Dr. Chanduka did appear on Sky News. She also did a separate interview for the Financial Times. Of course, Harry released a statement, several statements over the course of this public row as well. But I think the proof will be in the pudding, Eamonn and Ellie, because by the end of this month, we're expecting Sensibale's annual reports and financial accounts to be published. They have to by law. A source close to Harry says the proof will be in the numbers. Let's see if this public row has, in fact, kind of affected the financial integrity of the company or the amount of donors they have.
But even the reputation and the meaning of the charity, without Harry, is it anything? Because the history is there. It's in his mother's name. It's his mother's favourite flower that it's named after.
Yeah, exactly. One of the huge kind of benefits, let's say, of the royal family, working or not, is the name that it gives a charity and the publicity it gives a charity. Of course, that can work both ways. We've seen very negatively how a row can impact a charity. Sensibale says they are going to continue with their work. They say they're turning over a new leaf, essentially. Prince Harry's spokesperson telling me that Prince Harry is looking at new ways to support children in Lesotho and Botswana as well. They're saying all options are on the table in terms of what Prince Harry can do. Is he going to launch another charity? Is he going to support a separate charity? But in terms of him working with Sensibale again, I don't think that's going to happen with Dr. Sophie still in the chair.
OK, well, it'll be interesting to see this report when it's published in a month's time. Cameron, thank you very much indeed. What are Sensibale saying, Ellie?
Well, this is a statement they've given GB News. We're disheartened by the way in which the Charity Commission has chosen to ignore key concerns and evidence raised with them regarding the leadership and oversight of Sensibale's chair. We remain gravely concerned for the future of the charity and the well-being of the communities we served for 19 years, following the mission set out by Prince Harry and Prince Siso in honour of their mothers.
OK, 22 minutes past the hour, whatever you're doing. Thanks for taking time out to listen or watch us. And we're now going to bring you the weather picture as it affects the whole country. Alex Burkle.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. This is your latest Met Office weather update for GB News. For many, today is going to be a fine day, the exception just being across the far north of Scotland. Here there will be a front bringing a bit of cloud, a bit of drizzly rain at times as well, though a lot of that is going to clear through as we go towards lunchtime. Elsewhere, like I said, a fine picture for most, lots of fine sunny weather around, albeit a bit of cloud bubbling up at times, and some high-level cloud may make the sunshine a bit hazy, a bit milky as we go through into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little bit higher than yesterday and feeling a bit warmer too, with more sunshine and lighter winds, highs of around 24-25 Celsius towards the south and just a few degrees lower than this further north. As we go through into this evening and actually across the south, apart from some thicker cloud perhaps across parts of the southwest, for many it's staying fine. There'll be some late glimmers of sunshine as well for most here. A slightly different story as we head towards the northwest. Winds picking up and a bit more cloud starting to push in across parts of Northern Ireland, and a few outbreaks of rain for the west of Scotland too, and it is going to be turning a little bit cloudier because of a frontal system that's starting to make its way in. This is gradually going to push its way east and southeastwards as we go overnight, so things turning pretty wet across Northern Ireland, much of Scotland, and some rain just about fringing into parts of northwest England and across western Wales as we go through the early hours of tomorrow as well. Towards the southeast, staying dry with some clearer skies, temperatures here holding up in the mid-teens generally, and similar across northwestern parts, but obviously here is going to be a cloudy, wet start to the day tomorrow. That front continues its progress south and eastwards. It could be a bit heavy at times, particularly across higher ground of Wales and northwest England, and across the southeast really it's going to take until quite late on for the rain to arrive, and by the time it does, that front will have broken up so much it will just be a few spots of rain and a bit of cloud. Behind the front, something a little bit brighter, and for many, temperatures peaking in the high teens or low to mid-20s.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, here's your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for a whole year and then get a bonus £5,000 in the bank. It sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is the latest Great British giveaway. And even if you haven't got a mortgage or you haven't got rent to pay, you still get money, because we've put together 15,000 quid. And so if there's no rent, there's no mortgage, there could well be. Here's what you need to do.
This is your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year in the latest Great British giveaway. That's right, we'll give you a cash lump sum that will cover 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an incredible £20,000. Plus, we'll add £5,000 on top of that for you to treat yourself. And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you, we'll give you £15,000 in cash instead. You have to hurry though, as lines will close on the 29th of August. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Now, do stay with us. Still to come, we're going to be meeting the Scottish-based space company that are looking for a launch site.
Could be your back garden. Yeah, think of that one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Back after this.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits. You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it. That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good
Mid-afternoon Britain. Weekdays from midday.
Dale, so what's all this about? You're involved in this scheme. The idea is that people who've got depression need to get out and about, and football's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up really rather well there. Football is a place for communities. It's a place where you feel a part of something. I know this from my experience of football. I've been running Forest Green for about 15 years now. And chatting to our local GP, who happens to be also our MP, but we just had the idea, why don't we offer football on prescription? Because it'd be a lovely thing to do. Football is a great place to come and meet other people and be a part of something. And it could really help people that are feeling isolated and lonely and you know, other aspects of mental health. So I'm really happy to be taking part in this, and if it works here in Stroud, then we're hoping we'll roll it out nationally, and maybe even the NHS will embrace it as a national programme. That would be great.
This is football clubs that have signed up to voluntarily offer seats to be a part of this programme.
Yeah, and right now it's one football club, Forest Green Rovers, but I hope that football clubs up and down the country and up and down the leagues of football as well, because it doesn't have to be a Premier Championship club. You know, there are lots of great leagues in our country and local clubs for people to go and take part with. So yeah, it's not being paid for by the NHS. It's being paid for currently by Forest Green Rovers.
You're a businessman, though. Surely you must see some, you know, some dollar signs on this one. Sell the tickets to the NHS.
Well, I'm British, so I don't look at dollar signs. But look, I'm primarily an environmentalist, and what I care about is making our country a better place. I spend most of my time pursuing the green economy, but I believe in tax justice, social justice, that kind of stuff. Mental health is a crisis in our country, particularly for men. You know, it's the biggest cause of suicide for the under 50s. Men are affected 3 times more than women. Men don't tend to talk to each other. They don't talk about their problems. And so this is not about money.
GB News, the People's Channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
To infinity and beyond. A Scottish space company, Skyrora, is celebrating a huge milestone after it was granted a launch operator licence for one of its rockets.
Well, the licence enables the company to launch from Saxavord, which is at a real place. It's the UK's licensed vertical launch port. Oh. It's in the northernmost point of the Shetlands.
But the search is still on for a launch pad to blast off from, with none available this year.
OK. Joining us is the head of government affairs at Skyrora, Alan Thompson. So, Alan, wait a minute now. So you've got a port, but you don't have a launch pad. Is that it?
Got a licence, and there is a designated licensed spaceport. But yeah, there is no premises at this precise moment in time.
So how would you get that, mate?
We could, well, in theory, the launch vehicle that we're looking to launch, we have actually demonstrated it can be launched from a farmer's field. So we theoretically don't really need a launch pad. And for that reason, we are trying to see if there is an opportunity to negotiate with the people at Saxavord to allow us a corner of their farmer's field to allow us to undertake this launch.
This is really exciting, isn't it?
Yes, for us, it's as you mentioned, it's a milestone for us. It's a huge thing for our team, who we've been working towards this for 5 years. We did, as I said, undertake a demonstration launch of this vehicle in Iceland, which was not successful in October 2022. But for us, our main ambition is to do this from the UK as a commercial service, and for that reason. We're a little bit frustrated at the moment, but I'm sure we'll find a way through somehow.
But Alan, does that mean in the Shetlands you're looking for a farmer or a field owner to say, look, you can come here, it's all going to be okay?
Not quite. So the licence gives us the permission to launch from a designated spaceport. The spaceport has a perimeter fence and safety provisions within that perimeter fence. So theoretically, we're looking for a plot of land within that perimeter fence, which has been designated as a spaceport, so that we can fulfil, again, the requirements of the licence and undertake a launch, hopefully in a safe manner.
So it goes up in a safe manner. How does it come down?
So the launch vehicle has a parachute which should enable it to softly connect with the sea, and when it hits the sea it should actually float. We have a method for recovering it from the sea so that we, with a bit of luck, don't leave too much debris or any litter in the oceans.
And when you...
So that's sorry.
And when are you hoping to be all set up and launching rockets?
So we as a company are ready. We are, again, this license gives us permission now to do this in the UK. This is a suborbital launch vehicle which will be going to 126 kilometers, so not actually deploying satellites into space. This is actually a demonstrator so that we can prove to the market and to ourselves in the first instance that we can undertake this activity successfully, have successful failures if that's the case, and keep going. But ultimately, this is the penultimate step before we then start our main commercial launch activities, which we hope to do, again, from Saxiford, from the designated spaceport in the UK, towards the end of, or mid or end of 2027.
Do you know, I always see, Alan, programmes and read news reports about farmers having to utilise their land in other ways to make it pay.
This is the way forward.
This could be the thing.
Well, I believe the Shetland Spaceport does actually have sheep within the perimeter fence. And yeah, it's something that we've come across a lot of engaging with nature. In fact, we undertook an extensive environmental assessment of environmental effects so that we understand how the activity will impact nature and habitats in particular. The other thing that Shetland has is there is a puffin nesting season, which is also put down as a limitation on our activity. So yeah, so we're trying to do this as far as possible in harmony with nature. Not quite having the sheep on the pad at the time of launch, but yeah, that's the kind of idea.
OK, work in conjunction with the puffins. Let's hope everybody's OK. Alan, lovely talking to you. Good luck with everything you do. We'll look forward to seeing that.
Good luck, Alan.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed. Talking about travelling.
Not to space, though.
Not to space, but will there be space on the roads? Let's find out.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M4 eastbound near Hendy, resurfacing has closed the exit slip road with diversions. In Warwickshire, one lane is closed on the M42 southbound between junctions 11 and 10 due to a collision. Northamptonshire's A45 westbound has delays from an accident between the A14 and the A6, causing a 30-minute delay. Greater London faces significant delays on the M4 eastbound between junctions 3 and 2 due to a broken-down vehicle, resulting in an hour-and-a-half delay. And on the trains, ScotRail services are suspended between Inverness and several destinations. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
You've read the headlines and you've heard what those in power have to say.
How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
OK, bad news, sad news coming out about Sheffield Wednesday today. How bad or how sad is it going to get? Paul, tell us more.
Players not being paid. Manager's gone. First team squad, there's only 15 players. Transfer embargo. Stand at Hillsborough, closed by the council.
Why?
Well, we'll find out more. Legendary Sheffield football journalist Alan Biggs is with us, and he can fill us in on the disaster going on at Sheffield Wednesday. Morning, Alan. It is a disaster, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Paul. Morning, everyone there. You know, I hate to make light of a situation like this, but it's unbelievable, isn't it? We're often accused in this business of being inventive, of dramatising stuff, but you absolutely couldn't make this up. You know, I've been around football for, let's say, a number of years. I've never seen the like. I mean, things that couldn't happen keep happening. The owner of Sheffield Wednesday is palpably inept at running a football club, but that is absolutely no excuse for running it into the ground like this, as it appears to be. Shame on him for letting that happen, and shame on football for allowing it to happen.
Alan, what would the reaction be from Sheffield United supporters in all this, the great rivals, whatever? Any joy to be taken?
Yeah, look, you know about banter in football, Eamonn, and it exists. It particularly exists online, and you'll see a comment which is very flippant and jokey about the opposition. So there is a certain amount of impish enjoyment about it. But actually, if you were in a pub, in a bar, and those same comments were made, you'd find there'd be a little bit of repartee and exchange.
Yeah.
I think most Sheffield United fans are thinking, well, you know, hang on. And fans of any club, Eamonn, for that matter, are thinking, hang on, this could happen to us. Because this has become so prevalent in football now that it's not a case of, hey, look at you, you know, you're going to get relegated, you could go out of business. This could happen to us. And this is the negligence of the football industry. When they quiz would-be owners of football clubs, should they not, and I'm not being flippant here, should they not be hiring Sir Alan Sugar and Claude Littner from The Apprentice to give these guys a thorough grilling? Because it's not about money. This instance at Sheffield Wednesday is not about lack of money. It's about a guy who's inept at running a football club, blowing the considerable amount of money he's put in of neglecting advice. It's about a lack of wisdom, a lack of self-awareness, a lack of realising, look, I'm not the guy to make the major calls here, or all the major calls. This guy has been owner, chairman, chief executive, rolled into one. He's made all the major calls. He's been told over and over again by people inside football, and dare I say it, in a small and rather humble way, from the likes of yours truly, you need professional people in that club to run it.
Alan, but I've got to ask you though, what about selling it then? I mean, is he? This is Dave Fonchansiri, his name is, and he's in Thailand, isn't he? He's not even over here. Runs it from a long way away. So what happens? Does someone actually come in and buy it? Is he prepared to sell, or does he want some ridiculous amount for it?
He says he's prepared to sell. The exact amount he wants is unknown. It's rumoured that it started out unrealistically at around 150, 200 million pounds even. Even a couple of weeks ago, there was a report he still wanted 100 million. I don't believe that. But the fact is that having sold players below market value, and about 15 players, I think, one way or another from last season's first team squad have gone. The fact is this is a diminishing asset, even if you can call it an asset. What would I price it at? Maybe 25, 30 million pounds, because whoever picks it up has got a lot of digging to do and a lot of money to invest to get the club just up to scratch, up to par. The tragedy of it is there are serious bidders out there. There's no shortage of interest. This is a gem, a collector's gem in football to pick up. But the impression is that Dave Fonchansiri is dismissive of interest. You know, that he'd rather hang on at all costs. Now, he needs to set that record straight. Is he running it into the ground? Is he hanging on at all costs? Is he intent on some kind of revenge over the amount of criticism that's built up
Alan,
over the years?
We wish them well, and great talking to us about it. We hope to hear better news from you next time we speak, but we're out of time this morning. We've got to say goodbye to you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coity.
Pleasure.
Do stay with us. Still to come, we'll be going through the papers with Penny Smith and Anna Firth. There they are. They'll be with us in just a few minutes. But first, if you want to know where the sun is shining across Europe, here's your forecast.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean All Clear Skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
There's some hot air across parts of northern Africa at the moment, and as that's feeding its way northwards, it's going to push into Spain and Portugal. And here we're going to see temperatures rising through the next few days, could get into the low 40s at times. Otherwise, there will be a spell of showery rain affecting Gibraltar perhaps on Thursday, and a few showers across Italy and also into Greece and Turkey, but slightly fewer than I'm expecting through today. And the outlook for many is looking sunny and fairly hot.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me. You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Britain's Newsroom. Weekday mornings from 9:30.
Now, the governing body of tennis, which is the Lawn Tennis Association, has been accused of effectively breaking the law.
Yes, that's after reports that they encouraged transgender people to participate in women's tournaments. Well, we're now joined by the former Olympic swimmer Sharon Davies to discuss this. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, just bring us up to date, because the LTA, I think in January, made what could have been seen as quite a positive decision to stop trans players, trans women, so biological men, from competing against women in the elite game. But tell us what's different about the amateur game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really important that we do use the correct language, because they're not
banning anyone. They're just stopping biological males from competing against biological females. It's really that simple. And what's very frustrating is that basically they're saying, if you're really good, we're going to give you fair and safe sport. If you're not quite so good, we're not going to give you fair and safe sport. I mean, what a ludicrous situation that we're actually in. And as you say, I mean, it's been 100 days now since the Supreme Court ruling. It made it absolutely clear that a women's event means that it's a women's event only if it has biological females in it. If it has any form of man in it, no matter how they got to call themselves, what they want to wear, then it's a mixed sex event. So, you know, they are encouraging local clubs, you know, to not actually follow the law, to not give fair sport to pathways, to recreational, to juniors. You know, these people now are just expected to have unfair sport. And how do we get the elites if we don't make sure that the way forward and the way through is fair? And this is not just tennis. You know, golf is bad too. We still have 30 sports in the UK that don't protect the female category, including things like taekwondo, would you believe, and gymnastics.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Welcome back to Breakfast. We're going through the papers in the company of Penny Smith and Anna Firth. Morning, ladies.
Hello.
Where should we begin? Anna, let's start, shall we, with Kemi Badenoch. She says Labour is conducting an assault on rural life.
Yeah, so this is a big story where Kemi's gone back to her constituency in Essex. She's gone to a fantastic Essex family farm, and of course they are telling her what we all know, that the effect of Rachel Reeves's inheritance tax, removing the relief on agricultural buildings and properties, and actually it affects other buildings as well. It affects other businesses like a big play parks, you know, and fairgrounds. They can be affected by this as well. But basically, family farms are not going to be able to pass them on to their children because the effect of the massive tax that they're going to have to pay is going to exceed their profits, even over a 10-year period in the case of this fantastic farm. But what I love about this visit is that Kemi does a fantastic piece to camera in which she talks about Essex people. And obviously, we've got two fantastic Essex girls on the panel. And she says how hard-working Essex people are.
She calls us grafters,
They call them grafters. But I just want to say, because obviously, having represented an Essex seat, every time I went to anything in Leigh-on-Sea or Southend, it always exceeded expectations. Nice. And people are lovely.
There is something. If you asked me, you know,
he likes Essex people as well.
I really do like Essex people. They're very outgoing. They mingle very easily. They're very gregarious. You know, excellent. But what I don't like about the sort of journalist I'm becoming here is that I don't vote for any political party because I don't want it held against me in any way. But I cannot help but criticise Keir Starmer, that name over and over and over again. This man looked farmers in the eyes and said, I will protect your way of life.
He did.
Will he, heck?
Yeah, he's...
But they should be called out for it. It is lies. It's just lies.
It's the same as criticising the Tories before getting into office, where even when the Tories suggested they were going to do something about the winter fuel payments, which they never did, Starmer was criticising them. First thing they did on coming into office was take away old people's winter fuel payments. That was atrocious and a lie.
Can I just extend this to sort of... It obviously doesn't just happen in Britain, this thing about telling porkies. Politicians in Spain rushed to edit their CVs, right? It began as a confession by this rising star called Noelia Nunez, who's a member of this... anyway, whatever, you don't need to know. But anyway, she has now had to admit that she never completed her double degree in law and public admin. She apologised, stood down. Now there's a trend. They're all standing up and saying, I know I said I did that, didn't. So they've
all been lying.
Yeah, so there's a senior figure in the regional government who's the latest to admit errors in her official CV, downgraded a degree in political science to a diploma in public admin. Then there's somebody else who's a member of the far-right party in another regional government who said he had a degree in marketing. The university in question did not even offer that degree at the time he was there. Then there's a Socialist Party member who's overseeing, who stepped down after election that he faked a degree to get a civil service job, etc., etc. I mean, it goes on.
They're all at it. What's so fascinating, Penny, about what... sorry, you
you were going to say that you know that there are people here who've done that.
Yes, well, but also but also if you said in that story, they apologised and stood down. Now, in our country...
Not all of them.
No, but the first one. Yeah. Here we have the Chancellor, who has lied twice on her CV. Once that she said she spent a decade at the Bank of England. She only spent 5.5 years. That's a big difference, only half. And that she was an economist with a bank, and it turns out she was in the complaints department of the Halifax. Did she stand down? Has she apologised? No way.
And there's other people, aren't there?
Jonathan Reynolds, business secretary, said he was a solicitor and actually didn't even complete the training. I mean, those are appalling porcupines, which anyone normal in a job, you know, any of our children in their jobs, if they were found out to have lied and pretended that they were something when they're not, they would lose their job instantaneously.
Except I did once say that to Sky News that I could ski because I wanted to go on this particular trip, and then I took myself to a dry ski slope, virtually ripped my thumb off, actually.
Did it work, though? Did you get sent?
I got sent.
Well, there you go.
Yes. I do apologise. I do feel like I should apologise to the producer, the cameraman and the soundman, because the problem was that I spent the entire time barely managing not to fall over, so they had to keep on snatching films of me going... before I disappeared round the corner going... Oh!
That was risky, Penny. You could have hurt yourself.
Well, you're going to disappear around the corner again, I'm sorry to say, but a pleasure to have you here, Penny. Thank you.
We had fun, you two.
Very much indeed, yes. And Anna, thank you very much indeed as well. Right, the weather situation, we say hello, good morning. Is it going to be a good day, Alex Burkle?
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. This is your latest Met Office weather update for GB News. For many, today is going to be a fine day, the exception just being across the far north of Scotland. Here there will be a front bringing a bit of cloud, a bit of drizzly rain at times as well, though a lot of that is going to clear through as we go towards lunchtime. Elsewhere, like I said, a fine picture for most, lots of fine sunny weather around, albeit a bit of cloud bubbling up at times, and some high-level cloud may make the sunshine a bit hazy, a bit milky as we go through into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little bit higher than yesterday and feeling a bit warmer too, with more sunshine and lighter winds, highs of around 24-25 Celsius towards the south and just a few degrees lower than this further north. As we go through into this evening and actually across the south, apart from some thicker cloud perhaps across parts of the southwest, for many it's staying fine. There'll be some late glimmers of sunshine as well for most here. A slightly different story as we head towards the northwest. Winds picking up and a bit more cloud starting to push in across parts of Northern Ireland, and a few outbreaks of rain for the west of Scotland too, and it is going to be turning a little bit cloudier because of a frontal system that's starting to make its way in. This is gradually going to push its way east and southeastwards as we go overnight, so things turning pretty wet across Northern Ireland, much of Scotland, and some rain just about fringing into parts of northwest England and across western Wales as we go through the early hours of tomorrow as well. Towards the southeast, staying dry with some clearer skies, temperatures here holding up in the mid-teens generally, and similar across northwestern parts, but obviously here it's going to be a cloudy, wet start to the day tomorrow. That front continues its progress south and eastwards. It could be a bit heavy at times, particularly across higher ground of Wales and northwest England, and across the southeast really it's going to take until quite late on for the rain to arrive, and by the time it does, that front will have broken up so much it will just be a few spots of rain and a bit of cloud. Behind the front, something a little bit brighter, and for many, temperatures peaking in the high teens or low to mid-20s.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M4 eastbound between Junction 23 at Rogiette and Junction 22 at Pilning, an incident is causing delays. In Warwickshire, a collision on the M42 southbound has closed one lane, leading to 40-minute delays, expected to clear by 10:22. Additionally, lane closures on the A45 westbound in Northamptonshire are causing 10-minute delays. And on the trains, ScotRail services are suspended between Inverness and Aberdeen, with disruptions in Inverkeithing and between Edinburgh and Tweedbank. Northern buses replace trains between Sellafield and Workington. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
This is your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year. We'll give you a cash lump sum that will cover 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an incredible £20,000. Plus, we'll add £5,000 on top of that for you to treat yourself. You have to hurry though, as lines will close on the 29th of August. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk then? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. Migrants will be able to exploit human rights loopholes to avoid returning to France.
According to new terms of the treaty, small boat migrants will be ineligible for deportation if they have outstanding human rights claims, for instance.
Well, the treaty also gives France and other EU member states a veto over which individuals are returned.
So, has this new deal hailed by the Prime Minister's groundbreaking already proving to be unworkable?
And the full cost of migrants travelling both ways will be borne by the British taxpayer. And also, the whole deal can be put on hold with just a week's notice.
Headache for the Chancellor. Rachel Reeves facing a £50 billion black hole in the budget as pressure mounts to balance the books.
Prince Harry is facing criticism after a bitter dispute with the charity he co-founded went public. A source has told GB News that he is devastated.
And we'll be talking about Bill and Hillary Clinton. They've been ordered to testify in an investigation into paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. That follows Donald Trump's refusal to release files on the child sex offender.
Donald Trump's envoy will visit Moscow today as the deadline he's given to Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine approaches.
And Merry Christmas, Bridlington. Bridlington's on the Yorkshire coast, lovely place, but they are decking the halls very early today. Why are they doing that?
Well, the town is apparently being transformed into a festive wonderland.
Yes.
But why, Anna Riley?
Well, it's all about boosting tourism and showing that Bridlington is an all-round year destination for people to flock to. So today, they're trading seashells for jingle bells.
Well, it's a fine day for many today. However, there will be a spell of rain pushing through tomorrow. I'll have the details coming up.
Is it too early for Christmas? I think maybe it is. Or
Yeah.
do you like it all year round?
No,
you like it 2 weeks before Christmas.
No, I agree with you. I'm just wondering, if Bridlington's celebrating Christmas today, do people actually go to Bridlington at Christmas?
Yes. Or
That's
maybe they
the
go to
question.
Lapland.
Good morning to you. Thanks for tuning in to us this morning. 2 minutes past 9 is the time. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
We're going to kick off this section of the programme with is former American President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary have been subpoenaed by the House of Oversight Committee in connection with the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation.
Well, the committee is seeking information about the deceased financier's history after President Donald Trump decided against releasing more federal files. That's despite widespread backlash and pressure from within his own party.
Well, let's get some light shed on all of this. International journalist Hadley Gamble, very good to see you. What is this about? Is this about Trump? Is this about Clinton? Or is this about Epstein?
I think it's about making the most of an absolute political circus, because what we're going to see is the former president and his wife deposed in October. This is as Congress comes back into session. That guarantees airtime for every Republican lawmaker who wants to speak out on this. And beyond that, this is something that's going to have legs for quite a long time, because it's a story that refuses to go away. And the president's own party is making sure that that doesn't happen.
And that is what is so fascinating, isn't it? The pressure from within the MAGA movement to have these files released, these Epstein files released. Why do you think President Trump has decided against releasing?
Well, who can say? I mean, there are so many conspiracy theories as to why the president doesn't want these files made public, but it looks as if at least half to more than half of his own party are refusing to let this go. And that deep-seated anger is not being shifted by anything that the president has done so far. I mean, how many times has he tried to shift the narrative? He's tried to talk about Vladimir Putin sanctioning India, tariff war, and yet people are holding on to this story. So it's something people want to know. And if you just look at the amount of headlines that this story gets every single day, it's always in the top 3 or 4.
But, so I would look at it and I would say, given Trump and given his past record, given Clinton and his past record, you think, well, there could be every chance that their names would be mentioned here and come up in relation to these files. But what sort of damage would this be likely to do them in LA? For instance, Prince Andrew, his public profile is over because of the outrage here towards that and the intolerance towards that sort of child trafficking. Is the feeling the same in the USA?
What's incredibly extraordinary is the Clinton sort of aura, and we've talked about this, the essential idea that no matter what, they're Teflon and nothing actually sticks. Whether it be about the Clinton Global Initiative, their huge foundation, and whether or not nefarious things were happening there, and there have been those accusations, or the president himself. I mean, we've seen Monica Lewinsky come back as this sort of, women's movement figure in the last several years, and yet nothing ever sticks on the president, the former president, and his behavior. So the idea that they'd be dragging this out into the open does raise questions about whether this is just another avenue to go after the Clintons.
The Monica Lewinsky thing fascinates me. I did interview her once, and I made a statement about Clinton, and she said, well, what, do you know the president? And I said to her, yes, I've met him a few times, but unlike you, I only shook his hand. And she had an amazingly good sense of humour. She's very intelligent, very intelligent, I thought, very, very credible. And she's been able to refigure her life in the fact that she's not the villain in all of this.
And also not the victim.
Yeah, not the victim.
She refuses to be the victim.
True. Yeah.
And I think that resonates with people today when we talk about authenticity, when we talk about women in the workplace and those kinds of things. But this is an ex-president that's never been held fully accountable for that. That's the big question, or whether or not this would come back up. Because I think that it does, signal that there could be a reckoning about President Clinton and his personal life, which he very much put in the public eye on multiple occasions.
Can I ask you about Ghislaine Maxwell? Because I'm sure when they're summoned, they're going to be asked about Epstein, but they'll also be asked about their friendship with Ghislaine Maxwell. And there's been a lot going on with her in recent weeks. She's just been moved from Florida to an
open prison.
Minimum security prison in Texas.
That? Yeah, exactly.
So what is that about? Because there are rumours swirling that she could potentially be pardoned.
Well, this is also a big question, because essentially what we understand over the last 48 hours is they have moved to open up her testimony. And she's pushed back and said, I don't want this out in the open. I don't want this in the public eye. And, quote, there would be reputations ruined. Well, whose reputations are we talking about that haven't been touched on this already? So that does raise significant question marks in my mind, that there are more things to be discovered.
So the appetite for things to be revealed is quite serious now.
Very, very high. And once you throw this to congressional hearings, as you know, the doors are open, anything goes, because this is political grandstanding at its finest, and this will be a circus.
OK. Adley, thank you very much indeed. Lovely talking to you. Thanks for your perspective.
And it is just worth saying that the Clintons and, of course, Prince Andrew deny all allegations of any involvement in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Now, to our top story this morning, and illegal migrants crossing the Channel may be able to use a human rights loophole to avoid deportation.
Now, under terms of the agreement with France, asylum seekers won't qualify for deportation if they lodge a human rights claim or say that they are under 18.
Well, this is just one of the many potential loopholes which could be exploited and threatens to undermine the government's attempt to smash the gangs.
OK. We've got our political correspondent, Catherine Forster, here with us now. Catherine, when we use that term smash, I just wonder, will the government be smashed over this? Because all political analysis, nobody's coming forward and saying, but unless if you're Vet Cooper or someone, but no one's coming forward and saying, this is the answer to our prayers, this is what's going to turn this migration situation around. People have looked at it, they've analysed it, and very few people think this is going to work.
Few people think it's going to work. And when you talk about the government being smashed, I suspect that they will be if they don't get results on this, because people are just so fed up of governments making promises, whether it be Rwanda or whether it be this, and then, the numbers are up 50% on last year. 25,000 people have made that crossing this year. So, as always, they make these announcements. They big them up. It sounds OK. The devil really is in the details. Some of those details are emerging now. So basically, if people come, claim to be under 18 and they're coming on their own, that has to be investigated. They potentially are exempt. If they've got some sort of outstanding human rights claim, that will throw a spanner in the works too. Also, we've only got 14 days after somebody arrives to tell France we're sending somebody back. France has then got a month to communicate with us. They can turn somebody down if they've got any security concerns about that person. And also, if they simply ignore us and don't respond at all, then we have to keep that person. The whole thing, as we know, is just a pilot. The numbers might be as low as 50 initially, though the government don't want to put a figure on it. It can be cancelled at a month's notice by either side. It can be suspended at a week's notice. And, Chris Philp, who's the Shadow Home Secretary, says it is, quote, completely unworkable, will be ruthlessly exploited by human rights lawyers. But when I heard that reminded me pretty much word for word of what Labour used to say about the Rwanda plan. The Tories are labelling this as a gimmick, just as Labour did with Rwanda. Meanwhile, the 700 million that British taxpayers paid for Rwanda, for the accommodation, Donald Trump and the Americans are now set to benefit from that, because it looks like some of that accommodation is going to be used by Trump's deportations of people from the States.
But it's a human rights lawyers' playground, this will be. And that's why I just think it just can't work.
Exactly. I mean, all of these things get tangled up in the laws. And, Joe Robertson, the Tory, on this morning saying people need to see radical wholesale changes to the way in which we deal with immigration in this country. Of course, coming from a party that did not get a grip on this for 14 years. But I think there is a real acceptance. Certainly people like Morgan McSweeney, the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, is very well aware that if the government do not get a grip on this, they will be punished at the polls, just like the Tories were. And at the moment, for all the constant announcements that they are making, sure, they're sending more people back. Most of those people have come voluntarily in the first place, but the numbers crossing are up and up massively.
Yeah. We've got that new YouGov survey out today. 45% of Britons want an end to all immigration. I mean, people don't want to see tinkering around the edges, do they? They want to see action.
They do want to see action, and I was at a press conference, Nigel Farage, the other day, and he was asked about, how do you return people if it's not safe to send them back to their own countries? And he just went, I'm sorry, we're done. we've had enough.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people do feel like that. But of course,
Okay, are you done? Have you had
laws.
enough? That's it. Let us know this morning. Have your say. Catherine Foster, thank you very much indeed. Here's the Great British Giveaway.
This is your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year in the latest Great British Giveaway. That's right, we'll give you a cash lump sum that will cover 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an incredible £20,000. Plus, we'll add £5,000 on top of that for you to treat yourself. And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you, we'll give you £15,000 in cash instead. You have to hurry though, as lines will close on the 29th of August. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Oh, still to come, it's Christmas in Bridlington.
Oh, it is.
You know?
It is actually. We're not joking.
We're not
It is
joking.
today, even though today is what is it? The 5th of the. Is it the
August.
5th of August?
6th of August.
Is it 6th of August? Anyway, but anyway, it's Christmas because Bridlington celebrates Christmas today, and then at
And
Christmas,
all year round.
Yeah, well, anyway, Anna Riley is there. She's there live for us, and she's going to explain more. We're back after the break.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is...
You're
the failure is...
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more.
Whether it's breaking royal news,
please bring us up to date.
Or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Look, it's not Christmas weather, but it feels like Christmas today, especially if you're in Bridlington. Bridlington is set to deck the halls a good few months early as the town transforms into a festive wonderland, because today is...
Annual Bridmas Day. Like Christmas, but Bridlington. But...
So if you go, you can expect everything from Santa and his elves to Christmas-themed crafts, festive food. You know the score. Anna Riley is there for us this morning. Oh, yes, she is.
Oh, yes, I am. Merry Bridmas to you both. We're here in Bridlington Spa this morning, and they've certainly decked the halls. It looks absolutely fantastic, certainly gets you into the Christmas spirit. But what's it all about? Well, here to tell us is Mark Lonsdale. He's the general manager here at the Bridlington Spa. Second year now of Bridmas, Mark. What's it all about?
Well, first of all, Merry Bridmas.
Merry Bridmas.
So, today is a really simple message for us, although it's a bit quirky and people will wonder why we're celebrating Christmas in August. It's to highlight that obviously Bridlington is a 365-day destination, so what better way to tell people about the things going on in the off-peak season when we're at our busiest time in August.
Definitely, and what is planned?
So we've got lots of things happening in the town throughout today. So down at South Beach, we've got Father Christmas, so children can come and have a little picture taken with him. We've got the Active Communities team doing lots of Christmas-related sports. We've got sandcastle competitions to win tickets. We're showcasing a free screening in our theatre of Home Alone this afternoon with over 600 people watching that. We've got the Leisure Centre who are doing soft play this afternoon. Suba Hall and Gardens are doing a Winter Woodland campaign because they're launching that today for their Christmas activity. And then on King Street, big shout out to all of the traders who have got behind this. We've got a Christmas market in the town centre, as well as this evening a Christmas food festival. So it's all going on to show people what's happening later in the year.
And why is that so important? Because it is quite seasonal, isn't it, being at the seaside?
We're a council venue. This has been driven from the council's side, but actually it's about getting all businesses involved. We want to drive the local economy, build that growth, build that economy, and showcase that as a destination, Bridlington is a place to come all year round. It provides bed nights to hoteliers, it provides trade and retail to local business, and it's a bit of entertainment and a bit of fun as well, because this is what we do best.
Definitely, and you're sort of promoting the pantomime as well later on this year.
Oh, yes, we are.
Oh, yes, you are.
So, yeah, we've got our pantomime this year, so we've got Commonwealth boxer who's local to this area, Tommy Coyle, starring as King Rat in Ditch Wickington. We've got our pantomime dame, Jo Standerline, here with us today, so viewers should watch out for her later as Sarah the cook. And yeah, so it's just about showcasing what we've got, and obviously with Winter Woodland down at Suba Hall and Gardens this Christmas as well. It's about bringing people into the area, providing something for local residents as well, but also bringing people from out of town. It just generates that wealth in the economy, and it's creating something fun at festive times of the year.
Thank you so much, Mark. That's great. So certainly, if you're in the area today, head on down to Bridlington and celebrate Bridmas.
Feel, Anna? How does it feel? Here we are in the middle of summer. Is it actually getting to you? Is it penetrating?
It is. It's how I imagine, you know, people in Australia and all those hot countries must feel when they celebrate Christmas with a barbecue rather than the traditional meals we have. So yes, ho, 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 it's got me into the Christmas spirit.
It's with you today. Thank you very much indeed, and we'll hear from you throughout the day and finding out how it is affecting people and who's turning out to celebrate Christmas in Bridlington, Bridmas.
Anna Riley is always on the best stories. Have you noticed that?
It's because she creates them.
She does. She's great. She's either at a fairground, she's on the teacups, and now she's celebrating Christmas in August.
From 9:30, Andrew and Miriam, good morning to you guys.
Good morning. Makes me feel a bit weird. Although she mentioned Australia, I think there's record amounts of snow in Australia.
Really?
Yeah. All over Queensland, it looks incredible and very odd. They do have their Christmas in the height of summer, so maybe we should get used to it. Global warming and everything.
Maybe we should, yeah. What have you got coming up, you two?
We're going to be talking about the tax shocker that's coming up, the budget. It's going to be, according to this institute, this new financial institute, saying up to 5p in the pound in rise in income tax.
It's a £50 billion black hole now, isn't it?
Yeah, because they've got the sum so badly wrong.
Yeah. I do think that black hole is true, though, because there has been a £50 billion jump in interest payments that the UK has had to pay on our debt in just the last 2 or 3 years because of the way
Then
our
why
debt's
doesn't she
structured.
stop spending? Why are we giving 100 million to Syria and goodness knows what? I mean,
Yeah.
it just seems to be no end to spending. Now, you've got to do one or the other, spend or save.
Yeah.
And huge rises in defence spending, which some people would argue is perhaps not appropriate at the moment, but they've committed to that. So she's going to put taxes up, and she promised there'd be we're not coming back for any more tax rises. So it's a big financial crisis looming for the country.
And she's boxed herself in, hasn't she,
She
with
has.
those tax promises?
She has. She has.
We're also going to be looking at the one-in, one-out migrant deal, which has taken less than 24 hours to unravel.
Yeah, it didn't take long, did it?
Because it turns out that people who are being threatened with deportation back to France will not be able to be deported if they have an outstanding
Well, there's another waste of
human rights
£100
claim.
million.
Yeah. And if they claim they're under 18,
yeah,
then they can stay. And
And
lots
how
of
do
them
you
claim
prove
to be
they're
under
not?
18.
Yeah.
How do you prove they're not? Because they've thrown all their ID over the side of the dinghy.
And we're the only country in Europe that doesn't use scientific testing to prove someone's age, because you can fairly accurately prove somebody's age through X-raying and various other techniques, but we don't use it in this country. So anyone who looks under 18 or could look under 18, we just kind of take their word for it, which seems ridiculous.
And we're going to Germany, where the German government has had a major success. Asylum applications down 60%. So what are they doing, which we're not?
Do we know what they are doing?
No, we're going to find out. We're going to talk to somebody in Germany who's going to tell us all about it. So we'll tell you all. And maybe the Home Secretary, Vet Cooper, who never comes on this programme, could listen and learn.
And the Prime Minister wants to work closely with Europe, so maybe a trip to Germany.
Yes, exactly. He's out and about somewhere. He's out and about somewhere today as well. So I expect
we don't know where.
No, I think it'll be the last time before he goes on his holiday.
And the Greeks have also had some success, and the Greeks have basically just suspended the ECHR and said it's a national emergency.
Yeah, we're not doing it anymore. Let's do the same, please.
And Italy are doing well as well.
Yeah, we're
We
not.
need to look to Europe.
Well, we're the soft touch of Europe, aren't we? That's the point.
Well, the French describe us as El Dorado, don't they?
They do.
We've also got a report on the increase in anti-Semitism that has been taking place since October the 7th, and more particularly since... what's the name of the rap
Glastonbury
artist?
Festival.
Yeah, that's
Bob
right.
Dylan.
Yeah,
Bob
Bob
Dylan.
Dylan.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
huge rise in that. But yeah, there are lots to come.
There are lots coming up. And, of course, we've got some weather.
OK, and I hope it's good.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Box Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. This is your latest Met Office weather update for GB News. For many, today is going to be a fine day, the exception just being across the far north of Scotland. Here there will be a front bringing a bit of cloud, a bit of drizzly rain at times as well, though a lot of that is going to clear through as we go towards lunchtime. Elsewhere, like I said, a fine picture for most, lots of fine sunny weather around, albeit a bit of cloud bubbling up at times, and some high-level cloud may make the sunshine a bit hazy, a bit milky as we go through into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little bit higher than yesterday and feeling a bit warmer too, with more sunshine and lighter winds, highs of around 24-25 Celsius towards the south and just a few degrees lower than this further north. As we go through into this evening and actually across the south, apart from some thicker cloud perhaps across parts of the southwest, for many it's staying fine. There'll be some late glimmers of sunshine as well for most here. A slightly different story as we head towards the northwest. Winds picking up and a bit more cloud starting to push in across parts of Northern Ireland, and a few outbreaks of rain for the west of Scotland too. And it is going to be turning a little bit cloudier because of a frontal system that's starting to make its way in. This is gradually going to push its way east and southeastwards as we go overnight, so things turning pretty wet across Northern Ireland, much of Scotland, and some rain just about fringing into parts of northwest England and across western Wales as we go through the early hours of tomorrow as well. Towards the southeast, staying dry with some clearer skies, temperatures here holding up in the mid-teens generally, and similar across northwestern parts, but obviously here is going to be a cloudy, wet start to the day tomorrow. That front continues its progress south and eastwards. It could be a bit heavy at times, particularly across higher ground of Wales and northwest England, and across the southeast really it's going to take until quite late on for the rain to arrive, and by the time it does, that front